TFA fam. What is up? What is happening? It is week 3. We are waiting on Cody to finish relieving himself.
Oh,
You know, I mean,
just the number two. Just the number two.
he said he had to poop, and that was 30 minutes ago. So, but hey, we've all been there. You keep thinking you're done, and you go to get up, and then next thing you know, it comes right back to you. It's like, damn, you're not done yet. So, Cody will. Oh,
Hey,
actually,
right on cue.
he's here. He's here.
Welcome.
Oh, hold
Nobody
on.
knows. Nobody knows that you were late. It's fine.
There we go. Now it's fixed.
I feel
Now everybody's in
5
the right
pounds
spot.
lighter.
Yeah.
It was a rough one. Kept hanging. Wasn't clean. I cut it off to be here. I still feel it deep in my colon.
Oh,
But I'm
dear
here
gosh,
now.
we're losing
I
so many viewers.
cut it
People
off
are just
early.
dropping out.
We've all been there. We've all had that. So, Walito, appreciate it. Week 3, boys. TFA fam, let's ride. Hey, by the way, we need an update though on the listener league. How's that going?
Crushing. Your boy, 2-0. I think I'm second. Let me get the full standings for you guys.
How's Walito doing?
I think he's 1-1. I think he's kind of right there in the middle of the pack. All right, standings. Kingdom is 2-0. CHB also 2-0, and then myself. We're the 3 2-0s. Then Ash Springer at 1-1. Walito 1-1. A team. That's Porsche 23. And Christian Tomb King, defending champ at Mr. 24K God. He's kind of struggling down there at 9th. Tebow Fan 15. Tom holding down the Cody Kutzer area at 11th. And Team Jet 1976 and bringing up the rear.
Well, hey, you do what you do. You do what you can do.
It's early. It's early still.
It's only 2 now. So 2 weeks. Anyways, Alexis, I'll be watching again when the live starts, or I'll be sleeping again. But do I start Jeff Wilson over anyone on my bench? Cam Akers, Treylon Burks, Tyler Boyd, Myers, Corey Davis, Julio Jones. Thanks for the help this week. Good luck.
Yeah, I got Wilson ranked the highest out of those other choices that he has. I mean, Akers, it was exciting to get him more involved. I don't know if we see him doing anything more than the split that they have, but Wilson is the guy for the 49ers, and so he's the number one choice there for me.
I think you could think about Akers this week just because of how well the matchup sets up for him. Julio is interesting if he is the only worthwhile wide receiver. I think it's Wilson, but I want to say Akers, but I think I would just leave Wilson in there. I think he's the safest. I remember looking at Alexis's lineup earlier today. Everything looked pretty good. There was no real weak spots that stood out to me in that league, which is it. He dropped in the Discord, by the way. So if you want to join the Discord, you can click the link. It's absolutely free. I think I'm leaving Wilson, but I'm really close to saying Akers.
Man, Wilson had 20 touches and over 100 yards. Like, I just don't see that happening for Akers. You know what I mean? Like, Wilson's the guy, and then TDP just went down, right? So now next up for them is Jordan Mason or Marlon Mack. Like, it's Wilson's backfield, in my opinion.
Until Tevin Coleman comes in.
Newly signed Tevin Coleman. There's always another
everybody.
one. There's always another Shanahan back coming around to get injured, you know?
I would go Cam Akers here. I love this matchup against Arizona. Arizona's defense is garbage, hot garbage. And, we saw him, go from a 16% snap share to a 42% snap share last week. 15 carries. He also had 3 red zone touches as well. Got some targets, 3 targets last week for Cam Akers. So I think he's starting to mix back in. I don't think it's going to be we're too long away from him just being probably the guy in this backfield. They said they wanted to start him off slow, which is kind of what they did. And so, I just think matchup-wise, I think this is a much better matchup for Cam Akers, the 49ers are playing the Broncos. So, I mean, I would go Cam Akers if it was me.
I would want to see it for one more week. Like, so the matchup is clearly in Akers' favor. But I think with Wilson, that's your safe bet.
Yes, we are getting closer to Christmas. We're almost the holiday season. Full PPR: Jeff Wilson, J.K. Dobbins, Elijah Moore, or Rashad Penny.
No respect for Halloween, Cody. There's no respect for Halloween there. Katie has had Halloween on the front of her mind since June 19th, probably.
It's the worst. It is the absolute worst.
Going back to this, it looks like Dobbins is going to be back this week. He practiced in full today as we record here on Wednesday night. He practiced in full today, but I don't want to roll him out first week coming off of an injury. He hasn't played in, over a year, more than that, right? Because he missed all of last season. So I'm not doing that. Elijah Moore will have better weeks. It was obviously a Garrett Wilson week. I think they're going to kind of trade back and forth. Elijah Moore one week, Garrett Wilson another week. So they're tough to trust, but it could be his turn this week. And Rashad Penny is in a complete timeshare with Kenneth Walker and Travis Homer getting all the third down work. So I'm going to go Jeff Wilson again.
Wilson for me as well.
I'm going with Rashad Penny. Really like this matchup against Atlanta. I'm not as high on Jeff Wilson as you guys. I have Jeff Wilson ranked like 30th this week. So
I'm not high on Jeff Wilson.
I have Rashad Penny at 22. So as a low end RB2 this week, I'm just not as high. I'm not sold on Jeff Wilson.
I just don't know why we'd sit the 49ers starting running back, right?
Is he the starting running back, though? I mean, we still saw Tyrion Davis-Price get 14
He got 100 yards, right? He had 20 touches and 100 yards. He's the starter. Like, we're not worried about his workload.
Against Seattle.
Sure, okay. So maybe the yardage isn't as great, but if someone's going to get 15 touches in that backfield, it's going to be him, right?
Maybe. I mean, hopefully. Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
more likely than Rashad Penny. Like, you want to say maybe. Travis Homer getting all the third down work. Kenneth Walker.
I would say this is a game for Seattle that you could see them be in positive game script where they're running the ball a lot more. I mean, this is, we're not worried about Atlanta going crazy here and killing Seattle.
Is Seattle the better team? I don't know. You could tell me how that game skips. I don't know how that game script's going to go. They could be down by 14. I don't know. There's so many more question marks with Rashad Penny for sure than Jeff Wilson for me at least. Next, Christian Kirk has been balling 2 weeks in a row. Are you guys? Are we putting him up there? Or is he up there above Hollywood Brown?
He is. I have Christian Kirk as a like a mid-level wide receiver 2, and I have Hollywood as a wide receiver 3.
Yeah, Hollywood almost had a fantastic. I can't remember if it was like a 30-yard catch or something like that. He got smoked by the safety.
He still should have caught that.
Yeah. It was, I mean, he got lit, but probably should have caught it, and that would have really helped his day. And I don't know if we're talking about him as a wide receiver 3. He's, for me, is still a wide receiver 2. It's hard not to trust Kirk there, though. I'll probably lean Christian Kirk by a little bit.
For me as well.
Jacob Vaughn, Gabe Davis, Jerry Jeudy, Drake London, full PPR, start 2.
Jeudy
this is Gabe and today. Drake for me.
Yeah, Jeudy did not practice, and Gabe Davis was limited, so I'm with you there. Davis and London. London's been balling, guys, to the demise of Kyle Pitts, and maybe we address that because I know we're gonna have a lot of Kyle Pitts questions. Outside of having another top 5 tight end, are you benching Kyle Pitts?
No.
That's the correct answer. Just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page.
Josh Twinner. What's up, guys? What's up, Josh? Need one in standard. Dameon Pierce, Brandon Cooks, or Garrett Wilson in standard. In standard, this is Dameon Pierce. I have Dameon Pierce as a RB2 this week.
I'll probably stick with Cooks.
Chicago has been absolutely terrible against the run. They are like 27th in run DVOA this year. They have been terrible against the run. I think they're like 30th in fantasy points allowed to the position as well. And so, we saw Dameon Pierce last week kind of finally get more involved, much more involved in this offense. And Lovie Smith continues to praise Dameon Pierce. We did so again today. Yeah, I in standard leagues, I'm going to lean towards the running back. I think he has a much better shot at scoring a touchdown here, especially against the Bears. And so I like Dameon Pierce.
Cody breaking that tie. You know, hold on the fence. You're gonna go Garrett Wilson. You're gonna just do the. We each pick our own.
Yeah, maybe I'll just go Wilson so we don't have to give a straight answer.
Hey, no other move.
I think I'm gonna go Pierce. I know that Chicago's. I don't know. I wish I would have seen what Chicago's. Maybe I can look on Football Outsiders to see what their rush DVOA and what all their stats look like after week 1, because I think as little as we could have taken away from week 1, they just got completely lit up in week 2. Like, I wonder how much the Aaron Jones just throttling is making their stats look worse than maybe what they potentially are. But I still think it's Pierce, because I think that secondary for Chicago is semi-legit.
Yeah, that's a good point on the stats, that we have a small sample size, right? So one game can really skew that one way or the other.
Don Julio, would you trade A.J. Brown and Kittle for Eckler and D.J. Moore? My backup tight end is Patty Fry.
Yeah, I mean, Eckler, I don't think is going to be that running back 3. I think we're all kind of on that same page where he's not going to get the 20 touchdowns again, but he's still a top 12 back. And so if you can upgrade, assuming you don't have horses at running back, I'm fine with a slight downgrade at tight end and wide receiver for just a top 12 running back. Really depends on the rest of the lineup.
That's what I would say. I mean, because I'd like to know, like, how would you stand at at other positions to be able to make this? Do you even need another running back? Because, like, I love AJ Brown, and I think AJ. I mean, especially as good as that Eagles offense has looked. I mean, they have looked fantastic, and Kittle obviously will be back, and so to me, it just comes down to it's really kind of Eckler here, but I don't know if you need him or not. So I would say Don. Put the rest of your lineup here, and we'll keep an eye out for it, and we'll see kind of what this looks like. Because it's a little bit hard to judge some of these trades based up purely off of just this. It makes it easier to know what the rest of your lineup looks like for us to be able to make this call. So,
I think in a vacuum, I think I want the AJ Brown side. Maybe I'm just overreacting to the first 2 weeks of AJ Brown versus the first 2 weeks of Eckler, but it's also like, I don't know, man. DJ Moore, Baker is not going to be the quarterback upgrade that he needs to get himself over the hump, and that offense might actually be worse. Maybe that's a Ben McAdoo problem, and not a not a Baker, like Christian McCaffrey, only 10 targets through the first 2 weeks, like. I don't know. They even upgrade that offensive line, and that offense looks worse. I think in a vacuum, I want AJ Brown, but
yeah, I think the pace of play is what's been their problem. I think I saw that they ran as many plays in the entire game that I think it was like 4 teams ran in just the second half, and so they're just running at such a slow. They're the Seahawks, right, of last year and kind of this year, and so hopefully that changes. We were only 2 games in, but normally that doesn't.
Hopefully they just fire the entire coaching staff and ship them to the moon, because it's just a terrible coaching staff.
So bad. How was Ben
Josh-
McAdoo? How is Ben McAdoo the guy that you land on? It's like, I need
That's
to
my
save
guy.
my ass. It's calling Ben.
Yeah.
Bring in the big guns.
Would you drop
just-
Davis Mills for Winston? Yes. I would drop Davis Mills to pick up Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
Especially in a 2 QB league.
Correct.
Yeah.
How does Trevor Lawrence even get dropped in a 2
Yeah.
QB league?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes.
either way, their loss is your gain.
All right, let's.
Did I miss something here? Some of the questions that were asked? Did I skip over something? I don't know.
No.
Ronnie, what's good, fellas? Michael Pittman or Garrett Wilson? Do we even need to debate this? Is there any other
Pittman.
answer besides Michael Pittman?
Pitt man.
Okay. That's what I
Next question.
And then also, if you guys want to join our absolutely free Discord, while Lito has done his job and drops a link in the chat, he gets paid for something, I guess. Appreciate you, Walito, dropping that in there for us. Not a star sit, but I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on Terry and DJ Moore rest of season. I think the hard part about Terry McLaurin in my mind is that he's going to be hard to trust on a given basis with the other pass catchers they have here. With Curtis Samuel taking in a big role, Jahan Dotson's not going away, and so we've seen them throw the ball at an incredible rate so far through the first 2 games, over 40 pass attempts over each of the first 2 weeks of the season. That's probably not going to sustain itself. And so, with that being said, like Terry is going to be a guy that I think he's kind of a sell if you could sell him because I think there's going to be a little bit of frustration with him.
Yep. Don't need to add anything to that one. Yep.
Yeah.
On the other hand, though, DJ Moore, kind of like Cody we were just saying, right? The offense is not getting it done, and so we need to see something kind of change. But I do believe in DJ Moore still. I'm not selling on him yet. Terry actually has had enough production where if you wanted to flip him, he's actually done well enough through a touchdown and his involvement week 1 where you still can kind of get some good value if you want to flip him. DJ Moore, I'm sitting and waiting on him.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. So, Anthony, who should I flex? Damian Harris, Jacoby Myers, or Cam Akers? This is Jacoby Myers or Cam Akers for me.
Yes, but which one?
Assuming it's PPR, I'm going to go with Jacoby Myers.
I'll go with Jacoby as well.
Tie is broken.
Yep.
Carlos, so I got a trade proposed to me, Leonard Fournette for Najee Harris.
Lenny.
Yes.
Agree. Lenny.
Yeah. I would agree with that as well.
Do it, Carlos. Sounds like you're getting Lenny. Accept.
Aquaman.
There
Sounds
it
big for
is.
Hello, chat. Hello, Aqua. Josh Jacobs or Damian Pierce? This is Damian Pierce for me.
It's close. I'll go Josh Jacobs. I'll go Josh Jacobs against Tennessee.
Break tie. You got to go one or the other.
Who else is on? Give me. I'm gonna go Jacobs as well.
It's just like old times. Kevin and I rarely agreed. Cody always put right in the middle. Hey, buddy.
That's because you hate Damian Pierce.
I'm not as high on him as you. That's for sure.
It's
coming of Saquon Barkley. If you ask Kevin Steele,
that is not true. There's no other next Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is one of one. But what we will say is Tony Pollard is definitely better than Ezekiel Elliott. We can talk about that. But Ray Gamer in the chat: should I play Cowboys defense versus Giants on Monday or Chiefs defense versus Colts? I'm going Chiefs defense.
Probably. Yeah, I think I have Chiefs higher.
Cody?
Okay, doesn't matter.
Ray, again, would you rather own Evan McPherson or Harrison Bucker as your kicker for the rest of the year? Bucker is available.
What's the deal on Bucker? By the way,
He
Kim?
sprained his plant leg in the home opener, or in the, not home opener, but in their first in week 1. Missed last week. I think healthy. I mean, I want Harrison Bucker.
Yeah, especially with how that Bengals offense has looked to start the year.
I know, right? They have looked.
Is that a bad thing though? Like that they're not scoring touchdowns necessarily and getting field goals. I mean, McPherson has kind of been doing well. 13 points last week. Yeah. I'll go McPherson, but they're going to be close. You're going to probably switch off each week.
Yeah. Ray, again, Ray just dropping all kinds of questions here. QB Stafford, Eckler, Javonte, wide receiver Adams, Pittman, Jesus, Ertz, Waddle, McPherson, Cowboys, bench, James Robinson, Henderson, Ayuk, Godwin, Dobbins, Edmonds, Carr. What's the question here? Oh, any
You
changes?
just see any changes?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
see
think
that.
so. I think this is exactly what you want. Well done.
Yeah.
Go get a dub.
Yep.
Yes. True Teller, defense question. Got a trade. Sent my Dallas defense for Chargers defense. Guy who sent me trade, I actually play him this week. Should I do it? Yes,
Yeah,
you should.
Chargers have a
yes.
fantastic next 3 matchups.
Next like 5 up until their bye week. The only questionable game they have is against Denver, so you can just ride them through. Their bye week is week 8. I think they played Denver week 6.
Yeah, love it.
Don coming through again with the super chat. Appreciate all
1
you
QB,
guys.
2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 10-man PPR. Running backs are Alvin, Aaron Jones, Brees, Michael Carter, Ingram, Ramondre. Wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Keenan, Bateman, and CD.
This is off of his previous question.
2 running backs. Going to be the first 2.
Yep.
3 receivers.
I think he's telling us his team from would you trade A.J. Brown and Kittle for
Oh,
Eckler
yeah.
and
Okay.
Moore?
That's what it was. That's what we were talking about. Yeah, there you go.
So his running backs, he's got Alvin and Aaron Jones with Brees. So is Eckler worth the upgrade there in a 10-man? With starting 3 wide receivers, I say probably not. Your wide receiver room would look Keenan, CD, DJ Moore. I think I probably.
Yeah, I don't think I make that trade. I think I keep A.J. Brown.
Yep.
Good roster though. Really good
Yep.
roster, especially when Kittle gets back. It should be this week.
Yeah. CB, hi guys. Hi CB. Need 1 running back, 1 flex, PPR, Hunt, Zeke, Hall, Pierce, London, Samuel, Thomas, starting Waddle, St. Brown, and Swift if he plays. So let's start with the 1 running back. I'm going Kareem Hunt. Or no. I'm going to go Dameon Pierce. Sorry.
I was surprised there. I was like, whoa.
It's like, man,
What is
I don't
doing now?
have Zeke as a top 24 running back this week. So, and I have Kareem Hunt and Dameon Pierce as top 24 running backs this week.
I would go Zeke at running back.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a matchup where he's going to produce in, it's probably this one. So I'd go Zeke as well, and then I'd do London. Wait, is that Michael Thomas? The last Thomas? I'd do Michael Thomas in your flex if that's what the Thomas is. But I really like London as well.
Yeah, I do too. But I think I would go Michael Thomas if that is Michael Thomas.
We got him back on board. Kev's back on board with Michael Thomas.
I got like a foot on board.
Ready to jump off at
Put
the
his toe in the water.
yeah.
Cody?
I would go to London, but it doesn't matter with you two saying Thomas.
Thoughts
MS.
on Devonta Smith going forward? I feel like that he is going to be very hit or miss. I don't know if you're going to be able to truly, I think in certain matchups, for sure, if it's a high total game or something like that, I think you can definitely go with him. But I don't think he's going to be somebody that you're going to be able to continually, or not continually, but on a weekly basis, be able to trust every single week. Because I think there's a lot of volatility to that offense. But
yeah,
what's up, Tua or Wentz?
good to see Alejandro back in here.
Mm-hmm.
Been a minute. Tua.
This week.
Well. Yeah.
This week.
These shoes. These shoes.
I'll go Wentz over Tua this week with Tua facing Buffalo at Buffalo. Or no, it's at Miami. I'll go Wentz one more week when he turns into
Corpus
a pumpkin.
Christi Chris.
Kev, what was your answer? Did I miss it?
I said Tua.
Oh, okay.
I have CMC. Should I sit him? He is playing against my Saints D. No, we're not sitting Christian McCaffrey.
No, Chris.
Can't imagine outside of a dynasty league that you might have the pieces to sit him. So I would not.
Yeah. Crab Gravy. What's up, fellas? Full PPR. Chris Olave or Elijah Moore?
Christopher Olave. Let's go. 14 targets, 5 for 80. He's just getting warmed up.
He had over 300 air yards.
Yeah,
it's the third highest since it's been tracked.
Yeah, 26 yards. 26 is his ADOT, which is insane on, 14 or 18 targets, whatever he has.
The definition of prayer yards.
Yeah. Cooks, Kirk, T, DK, Juju, or Myers. Pick 2. This is T. Higgins. I think Christian Kirk.
We'll go T. Higgins for sure. Locking him in.
Actually, I'm gonna go Juju. I have Juju one spot ahead of Christian Kirk. So yeah, I'm gonna go Juju.
I'm gonna go Juju as well.
Yeah, I'd go Cooks.
Yeah. Truth Teller. Got Aaron Jones and Patterson in right now, but got Damian Pierce and Connor on bench. Do I make a change? I also got Deontay Johnson for Steelers as my flex, but also have Kirk and Pitts and Smith-Schuster on bench. So I would start Juju over Deontay, as much as it pains me to say that.
Yep.
And then Aaron Jones and Cordero Patterson. Obviously, Aaron Jones is a lock. We're not making any changes there. If James Conner is ready to go and he plays this week, would you start him over Cordero Patterson? Are you starting him over CPAT?
James Conner? Yeah. And I'm also starting Kirk over Deontay and Juju.
I would not. I would start
Juju when he hits, and he's going to hit one of these weeks, he'll have the highest ceiling. But there's more options in an offense, and Kirk is the one for Jacksonville who's going to throw it 38 times.
Disrespect Zay Jones like that, okay?
Yeah. Dynasty, I've been the Zay Jones guy. Love that he's popping off. Love it.
Evan Ingram getting looks too.
Yeah. Dan Arnold got a target.
Hell yeah.
Matchup's going well.
We're getting there. Aqua, start everyone in the Miami and Bills game. You know it's going to end up being like a 24-17 type game. Everyone's going to expect it to be high scoring.
Yeah.
Alejandro
you guys are not, real quick, you guys are not starting Edmonds or Mostert in most cases, correct?
No.
Wait and see.
Yeah. Okay. If I can get away from it, yes, I do not want to mess with that in that game.
Agree.
A-Rob, Kirk, Juju, Lockett, or Gabe Davis. This is Gabe Davis for me. If I'm just picking one.
Yeah. Gabe.
Yes.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Hope you're doing well. The infamous, can we trust Henry against the Raiders? Brees Hall is my backup. Help. I think you have to start him. If you had other options, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I know it's 2 weeks, but I think we all talked about it before the season. Why you don't want to take Derrick Henry, but that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, you have to start Derrick Henry at this point.
Felt so good seeing Derrick Henry struggle last week. For everybody that came,
I think he's going off. I think he's going off.
Probably.
I don't know.
Raiders. I want to talk about bad run defenses. I think Raiders have just gotten tore up this first 2 weeks. I can't remember exactly who they played, but
I moved Henry back up after I had him at 15 last week.
And we expected him to be bad, right? Like he wasn't going to be good against the Bills defense. That I'm not holding that against him.
That's not what our comment section said. But there was a lot of hate in the comment section on the running back video we did. But
yeah,
no, this has always been the problem with him, though, right? But they've been so lucky and fortunate last years being really positive game scripts for them, and now that we're not seeing that, right? Because this team is really terrible. I mean, this team is really bad, and so that's a big problem for a guy who doesn't catch any passes, and so. Sure, he could bounce back against Raiders, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Raiders throttle the Titans. Like I think that's also in the range of outcomes. I mean, this Raiders offense is damn sure good enough. I know last week they absolutely blew it against against the Cardinals, which is what it is. But I mean, I don't know if I could say I can trust Henry. I mean, but he's your better option.
Yeah.
Where do you have him ranked? Like he's starting, right? He's a top 15 guy for you.
I think I put him back up to 8 this week.
Yeah, that's where
you have him higher than me. I have him at 13.
Yeah, I mean he's starting. You're not benching.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what we've been saying. I'm just talking about him in general.
Yeah.
Is this the Gary V? Is it or it's missing the Y? I'm sure that's never mind. 10 team full PPR. What 2 players would you start? Antonio Gibson, Montgomery, Hollywood, Brown. Keep in mind my quarterback is Kyler Murray. Not that matters. I'm starting Antonio Gibson for sure. I have him as a top 12 running back this week. And then
Gibson and Hollywood for me.
I'm going to go David Montgomery.
That's wonderful because I'm going Monty and Hollywood. Like Gibson did not look good last week at all, and it's just 1 week, right? But he didn't look good. He's splitting time with McKissick.
Huh? Splitting time? Splitting what time?
Every third down opportunity.
He's handling 71% of the opportunities in the backfield. That's elite. Like what do you mean he's splitting? And he's also averaging 6 targets per game. He has 12 targets on the season. Run 35 routes. Love to see that as well. I mean,
yep. How are those translating? Give me the point totals.
20.1 or 20 fantasy points week 1, and I mean 12.1 week 2. Nothing bad about that, especially in a game where they were trailing.
Yeah, I'll go Monty, who looked fantastic against the Packers.
But he looked bad week 1.
Yeah, but
I don't know if he looked bad. The offensive line looked bad. Like if you watch that game, he did what he normally does with nothing. But no, I got what you're saying.
Anyways, Andrew, Tom Brady or Jared Goff? This is 6-point touchdowns. Is this really where we're at having this conversation? But this is really where we're at, though.
It's Cody calling Jared Goff on the Sunday morning show.
Yeah,
you had.
I did say that.
Yeah, 4 TDs later. Yeah, this is Brady next.
I have Jared Goff.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, I do. I have Tom Brady ranked 15th this week. I have Jared Goff ranked 13th.
Oh, I thought when you said is this really where we're at?
But this is really where we're at. But it's hard to deny. I mean, you look at. I mean, I know if we're just talking about name, obviously it's Tom Brady all day. But one, the matchup is fantastic for this team, and two, I mean, with Tom Brady, I mean, all of their weapons are out, right? And so you're missing all these pieces. And Green Bay has a very, very, very good secondary, and so like I don't know, and their offensive line is extremely banged up. This Bucks offense is not the same offense that we saw last year. Like it's just not. Will they turn it around at some point? I'm sure they will, but I don't know if this is the matchup that I want that I think that it's going to happen in. And so, I mean, give me Jared Goff, who's going against Minnesota, and what's likely going to be an absolute shootout. So I don't think this is like that hot of a take. I know for people that just the name value alone, but and the Bucks don't have. I mean, their implied point total opened at a 25.75, and it's already been bet down to a 21. I mean, it's dropped almost 4 total points already.
That is abandoning ship.
Where the Lions actually have the highest positive gain since this week opened. They opened at a 21.5, and they're up to 24. And so, I mean, so money's coming in on the Lions, and yeah, I'm not sitting Jared Goff. I will sit Tom Brady, and if it doesn't work out, process over results all day. I'm not starting him just because his name's Tom Brady. And so Jared Goff's the better matchup, the better game, and right now, I mean, obviously the better weapons with all the pieces that are going to be out likely for the Bucks. I mean, again, we're looking at like Rashad Perriman and Russell Gage and Scotty Miller as his pass catchers here in this game. And so this isn't that hard of a take. It's Jared Goff.
Okay.
405 game incoming for Brady.
Yeah.
I think I would go Goff as well.
We'll do our first bet of the evening. Fantasy points. 6 point per TD scoring. I'll take Tom Brady. You boys got Jared Goff. Wally to mark it down.
Carr or Tua for Anthony?
This one's Derek Carr.
Yep.
Another one from Alejandro, Mike Thomas, Deontay, donate. Yes, that is a fantastic one. That we need to keep a log of some of these. We had some good ones on Sunday. Donate that one's up there. Mike Thomas, Deontay, Mooney, London, Tony, Myers. We need 2 out of this group.
Michael Thomas in London.
Yep.
Yeah.
Poor Darnell.
One flex here for Andrea. I'm going to go Andrea. Need one flex. AJ Dillon, J. Rob, Palmer, and a PPR.
I think
if Keenan doesn't play, I would go Josh Palmer. If Keenan plays, I'm going to go James Robinson.
Yeah, Keenan was limited in practice doing individual drills. I'm going to go AJ Dillon.
Brutal matchup.
Is it though? Tampa Bay hasn't looked good, and no Akeem Hicks. Like they're not the run defense they were last year with Sue. I don't think it's that same type of don't start your running backs against them.
But it's also a running back in a timeshare as well.
Yep, for sure.
I'm going to go J-Rob.
To be fair, the Bucks have been really good against the run so far, only allowing 7.7 fantasy points per game, which is 3rd fewest in the league. So they have been really good against the run.
Emilio, with Evans suspended, Cooks, Robinson, or DJ Moore at wide receiver 2. So let's start there. Higgins is Emilio's wide receiver 1.
I'm going Allen Robinson.
I'll go Brandon Cooks.
I'm kidding. Allen Robinson there for me as well. Now we need a flex between one of the wide receivers, Montgomery or Sanders.
I'm going to go with Montgomery.
Yeah, that's Monty.
I think we already got this one.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I have a trade pending. I am trading ETN for Damian Pierce.
I think there was another. Carlos did throw.
Oh, another piece to it.
Did throw this in afterward. So we answered it, and then Carlos followed up with the injuries to both backs. I still want Lenny.
Yeah.
I mean, the Liz Frank is probably more worrisome to me than the hamstring. Like the hammy, maybe Lenny misses a handful of games, but if like the worst outside of like Lenny tearing his hammy, he's not going to miss the entire season. Whereas with that Liz Frank injury, Najee could miss the entire season. Or the Steelers could just be so bad that they decide not to run their franchise running back completely into the ground and just ruin him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. ETN for Damian Pierce.
Oh, boy. This is where we're at.
I think I'm sticking with ETN because I think their game scripts are going to more likely favor ETN versus Robinson. Robinson dominated early down work, but ETN dominated almost all the pass catching, 2-minute drill. I mean, I think they split red zone. And I think more often than not, you're going to have games where ETN is going to be more valuable. So I'm still keeping ETN ahead of Damian Pierce.
I'd probably hold on to ETN, but can we just stop doubting James Robinson once and for all? Like every step of it, every single year this happens with him, and everybody just wants to hate on the man every year. And this year, I guess it made sense because the injury he was coming off of. But this guy I don't know. Like he just overcomes every obstacle that's ever put in front of him every single time. So
it's going to be a clean sweep for Gabe Davis for all of us?
For sure on that.
Jenna says, I need depth and I have Diggs. What are some multiplayer combos you would take for him?
What do you mean by depth? What are you looking for? Like just saying that I'm not trading stuff on Diggs.
Jenna, let us know if you're still rocking with us, let us know what your entire roster looks like. And then Robbie, if you want to keep an eye out at the bottom of the chat for it in case Jenna drops that in, that way we can jump to it.
You guys answer this.
I mean,
no. The answer is
if Rondale Moore was out for longer, it'd be yes, but no.
He's still not practicing, but I can't do it.
You can drop Mooney. You just don't need to pick up.
No, you can't. It's been 2 games, and they've thrown the ball like 14 times. Okay,
is it going to change?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about something very similar. I remember not that long ago with the Vikings, where the Vikings were doing the same thing to start the year, and like Kirk Cousins never threw the ball, and then all of a sudden he exploded. So I mean, they're not going to be throwing the ball every game, 15 times a game. They're going to be trailing. They're going to have to throw the ball, and eventually this is going to correct itself. So I'm not dropping Darnell Mooney. Actually, I would be out looking to buy Darnell Mooney because you can get him absolutely free, and he's still the best wide receiver on this team. And so eventually, this offense is going to get better than what it's been. It can't take much more. In reality, we're talking about week 1 where it was an absolute monsoon out there and you couldn't throw the ball. And so we really have 1 week of data to go off, which was last week. So, I'm not dropping Darnell Mooney right now.
Landry, Lockett, Dotson, Duvernay, Devonta Smith, Tony, Elijah Moore. Drop one. Oh, I like this. I don't know if we've ever had a question like this. Drop 1 and start 2.
Drop Jarvis Landry.
I'm probably dropping Duvernay.
Yeah, and then I'm starting Elijah Moore and Devonta Smith.
Smith, yes. I probably have Dotson right there with Elijah Moore, so I'm okay with either one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucius, evening. Buy or sell on Derrick Henry? Well, if you have him, you can't sell him because you're not going to get probably what he's whatever you drafted him for, whatever value you think you might have. But I'm not buying him either.
Well, Kev, it kind of goes to your line of thinking. If you don't think Derrick Henry is going to be good outside of a handful of games, he still has enough name brand where you can get a running back 2 or better, right? Like he still has the name value where he can still get you a decent return. So I feel like if we have your line of thinking where he's just not going to be good for 80% of games, you should look to move. Should you wait for this next week where I think they have a great matchup? Yes. But the longer you wait, and if it goes the way you believe it goes, you're going to get less and less for that return. So kind of two ways to think about it. But for sure, I think you're waiting till they play the Raiders this week 3.
Cody?
Sorry, I was going down the chat and I saw this one from the super chat coming in from Matthew. So I was scrolling to see if there are any questions from him. Appreciate that super chat. And then we also had another from B. Carter Pierce or TP Julio or Mooney.
Is that supposed to be Ty Davis Price? Who's out? Who's TP?
I was thinking maybe it was a Beavis and
Toilet.
Butthead reference. Like TP Corn Julio, maybe.
Okay.
This is
His card.
This is Damian Pierce for me.
Finally got me. It is Pierce.
Yeah, that's a sweep.
Oh, there was a question. Found it.
Wait, can we go back? If Julio plays and he's the only wide receiver in town, would you guys go Julio in a PPR over Pierce?
No.
I don't think so because I think he's still going to be playing limited snaps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matthew Stafford rocking with
Safford.
I know. 10-man PPR sent JT. Oh man, Schultz, Hollywood, Brown for Kupp, Everett, Cordell Patterson. Starting wide receivers are Diggs and Hill. RB2, Gibson, Penny, B. Rob, Mostert, Pittman, Michael Thomas, and Deontay for trade bait.
I think you overpaid for Kupp.
Yeah, I'm worried about those running backs.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
You were actually fine at wide receiver. You did not need Cooper Kupp, in my opinion, really. I mean, you have Diggs and Tyreek Hill, and you have Michael Pittman, and you have Michael Thomas and Deontay, right?
That's what it looks like.
Jonathan Taylor, I think you're going to end up really regretting that. Like Kupp, yes, he's been absolutely elite again so far in the first 2 weeks of the season, but you didn't need it. And your wide receivers are great. It's just the running backs now are very thin, and really it scares I would be scrambling to find running backs because as much as I love Gibson, I mean Brian Robinson is going to return over the next couple of weeks, and I don't think if Antonio Gibson continues to play that way he's been playing, it's not like he's going to lose the job and Brian Robinson's going to come back and be starting running back for the team, but he's going to mix in and he's going to take some opportunities away from Antonio Gibson, and so like that's going to change. Then Rashad Penny is. You just don't have any depth now. Now, clearly, you have a ton of wide receivers to make a lot of moves with, but I don't know. Like, I just would have kept the players you had. I think. I think you'd been fine there.
Yeah, I think now you're going to have to make a corresponding move and trade Pittman to make up at running back.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you can get yourself a solid, because now, with having Cup, Diggs, and Hill, if you can, if Pittman pops off again, you can, sell him high. But that's the whole that you kind of like put yourself into now having to make that move in order to. It could work out. Because like I said, rolling out Diggs, Hill, and Cup is a nasty, nasty trio in in any league. That could be an 8-man, and that's a nice trio of wide receivers to be running out. But I think you've now put yourself into a corner where you have to sell Pittman. He's going to get you the most in return. So really interested to see how that ends up panning out for you, Matt. Keep us posted.
Yeah. Tam, back with us, as always. Happy to see you here tonight. Hope you're doing well. No surprise, but a lot of my studs are hurt. Need one flex. Cortland, Connor, or Pittman. Okay.
I'll go Sutton.
So
No
I'm
Ju-
going to sit Brandon Cooks and start Cortland Sutton and Michael Pittman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anthony, would you guys trade Chubb for Dalvin Cook? I would. And I love Nick Chubb, but Dalvin Cook is going. They're going to figure this out with him. And
Yeah. Oh man, it's tough to do.
He definitely has much more of a pass catching role than what Nick Chubb probably ever will this year. Sadly.
Yeah, super tough to
Nick
do.
Chubb. I wish
you're
they would
right.
just commit to him and make him a 3-down workhorse, which I think he could do. If they won't. It just hurts my soul.
Dawson Knox or Gerald Everett this week?
Gerald Everett.
If Keenan Allen's back, I'll go Dawson Knox.
Agree. Pick 2 full PPR: A-Rob Thielen or Michael Carter.
A-Rob and Thielen.
He threw this one in here already, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Henry or Hall. I think we got that one for Infamous already.
Mm.
Jefferson for Kelsey and Moore.
Yeah. Getting a top 2 wide receiver is fantastic. Hopefully you got a solid tight end to roll out there instead of Kelsey, but yeah, well done.
Whoop. Is there any trades here to make for Truth? Down 0-2. It's not time to panic. But is there anything we can look at here for Truth? Russ at QB, Cook and Kamara at RB, Patty Fry tight end, Debo, AJ Brown, St. Brown. How are you 0-2 with? I guess Kamara missed.
Kamara missed last week. Cook wasn't good last week. Russ has been bad.
Rob D-Hop, Edmonds, Garrett Wilson. I wouldn't. I would just stay the course. I think your running backs will square themselves away. I wouldn't want to, because your biggest one here is going to be one of the Browns, right? I wouldn't want to make a hole somewhere just to try and patch things up for 1 week. You're only 0-2. Stay the course.
Yep.
Hey guys, should I play CPAT, Deontay, Garrett Wilson, or Devonta Smith full PPR, Michael Thomas and Tyreek in my wide receiver spots? I'm going Deontay here.
Deontay, but it's close for me with Devonta.
Yeah. Yep.
Michael Smith, start 2 in a full point PPR. AJ Dillon, Chris Olave, Sterling Shepard, or Breece Hall. The pressure is on, Robbie.
Oh. Who are you feeling there? I think Shepard is one for me.
And if this is the league that Kev always brags about, that he always loses in the playoffs with, it's a tough roster. So I'm gonna let's swing for the upside. Let's go Olave for the home run, and then get some safety in there with Shepard as well.
Yeah, they've been using Shepard down the field quite a bit, which is new and exciting. So I like them both. I agree.
Michael, do it for all of us.
He's not
Take
playing
that son of a bitch down.
We're not playing this week.
Oh, well, later on down the road. Either way. Start one here for Anthony Hines, Penny, or Hendy. You can combine those names and make them one. Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson.
I'm going Rashad Penny.
Penny for me as well. So I don't feel fantastic about it. Raymond Mayberry sounds like a fictional basketball player. London or Davis in the flex. That was going to be Davis, I think, probably clean sweep.
Yep.
Great. Love it when you guys interact with me. Fam first, start 3. Kirk, McLaurin, Hollywood, Bateman, Connor.
Connor, if he plays. And then we're going to go Christian Kirk and Rashad Bateman.
And if he doesn't play,
man,
I'm going Kirk, Hollywood, Connor. If Connor doesn't play, I'm throwing in Bateman.
Truth, do not apologize. That's what we're here for. Should I drop Chase Edmonds for Breece Hall?
Yes, actually, I mean, I don't want you to stop listening, but if you can just minimize something real quick and just run as fast as you can, and pick him up. That's what you need to do. There's no shot Breece Hall should be available. But
is there anybody? I mean, I guess Edmonds is fine to drop, or you're kind of just switching out one timeshare running back for another one. And
but I think there's a much better shot that Breece Hall becomes the guy than Chase Edmonds is.
Yep. Really tough start of the season, and he's probably playing the least amount of snaps he'll play all year. Agree.
We've already answered this one. This is Derrick Henry.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
What's up, guys? Who's getting their Curtis Samuel tickets for flexing this season and wide out bye weeks?
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, after saying that there's no chance that Curtis Samuel sees double-digit targets again, he was 2 away last week.
Still true. But man, he got close.
Mark, trade Dylan Bateman Ertz for Pitts and Lamb. My RBs currently are CMC, Barkley, Aaron Jones. 2-0. I think Pitts and Lambs would be good down the stretch.
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say yes.
I think it's close.
Yeah, it is.
Do it.
I would too.
I mean, Bateman we liked what we talked about on the wide receiver show, that he has been living off the deep ball. Ertz probably, didn't have a great week 1, had a really nice week 2. Probably takes a step back when D-Hop comes back. Dylan, you obviously don't need, with having those 3 running backs. So I think I would.
Yeah.
I mean, a sleeper and what,
in a super flex league,
because his rushing upside is obviously there, and that's what makes him interesting. And I think it gives him a decent floor on a week-to-week basis. But there's still other quarterbacks that, in a 1 quarterback league, that I would definitely rather have than Marcus Mariota.
Yep. Agreed.
Who's your defensive choice this week between Bears, KC, and Broncos? I'm going the Chiefs.
Chiefs for me as well.
Fan first. Should I trade McLaurin for A-Rob, Everett, and Tua? Deep at wide receiver, thin at tight end, Irv Smith and Tanyan, and have Lamar at quarterback, no backup, or McLaurin for A-Rob and Gordon.
I don't think he needs the backup.
You do not need the backup. Fan first. Don't worry about it. The only time you're going to play Tua over Lamar is likely a bye week. So you're just going to be burning that roster spot for 1 week, and then he's going to be good enough. You're not going to want to drop him, so you're just going to end up holding 2 quarterbacks for the rest of the year. You're kind of handcuffing yourself. Would you do McLaurin for A-Rob and Gordon?
I mean, Cody, I think you had A-Rob the highest. Now maybe you've moved a little bit based on the first 2 weeks, but do you have A-Rob ranked higher rest of season than McLaurin anyways? I think I do. So I'd take McLaurin for A-Rob, or I'd take A-Rob and send away McLaurin straight up. So anything on top, yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. CHB, thanks to you guys, I put up 190 points this past week.
Nice job.
File that under things you love to see.
Oh, we've already answered this, and that was part of the super chat.
Yep.
We said oops on the super chat.
Like he didn't mean to, or
Never oops on the super chat. Nah, he didn't mean to hit enter. It was the no comment super chat.
appreciate all you guys rocking with us. Please hit us with a sub and a like if you have yet to do so. We appreciate all of the support, monetary or just a like and a thumb. You know what I mean? Just a sub. Start 2 running backs: Hall, Dylan, Akers, or Henderson. Full point PPR. Oh, Dylan and Akers for me.
Agreed.
And then for the flex, Shepard, Olave, or Gage.
Or one of the running backs.
I'm gonna go Russell Gage out of that group. Probably gonna have the highest snap share for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'll go Olave.
Kev?
Brees Hall.
That was my other consideration. I like Brees this week.
Sorry that we didn't help you out there, Michael. That boy Dylan needs to start 2 wide receivers: Cook, Sutton, DJ Moore, Marquise Brown, or Ayuk.
Look at that avatar. TBD. That boy Dylan. Look at that branding.
Sutton's a lock.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be Sutton and Cooks for me.
I'm gonna go Sutton and DJ Moore.
Sutton in Hollywood.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's at least try to help, because we're not helping anything.
I would be close. I would go Marquise Brown over DJ Moore. A Manster. I have Lamar, Cooks, Swift, AJ Brown, Cooks, Waller, Hunt, and Henderson in the flex. Any advice on upgrades? Am I good?
I think you're good.
Good. Yeah.
Yep. Just make sure you keep churning those wide receivers behind AJ Brown and Cooks. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think potentially the wide receiver 2 you could look to upgrade, but like I wouldn't want to trade away AJ Brown to try and make like a better 1-2 combo, and I don't think you're really going to get much out of Hunt and Henderson in order to make that upgrade. So I think you're good there. London, CD, or Samuel on a PPR for CB.
Drake London.
Yeah.
Davis, London, or Connor in the flex and a full PPR for Raymond.
This is Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis. Cubanito, 10-team full PPR flex. McLaurin, Edmonds, Ayuk, Lazard. We need one.
McLaurin.
McLaurin for me as well. Jose starts at half PPR. Russell, Henry, Najee, Tyreek, Devonta Smith, Fryermuth, Javonte, McPherson, Chargers D. On the bench, we have Jacobs, J-Rob, Ayuk, Dotson, Sutton, and Schultz.
Sutton over Devontae.
Yeah, Sutton. Yep, I was going to say the same thing.
The rest of it's good.
Yeah. Man, Henry and Najee. Should I pick up Brian Robinson and drop my handcuff for Swift, or drop Breece Hall, or just leave it alone? A, B, or C here for Debro. Huh. How well that came together.
You can drop Jamal Williams for Brian Robinson.
Can I ask why you would do that?
Brian Robinson
that Jamal Williams continues to see, or is going probably to continue to see. I don't know what to expect from Brian Robinson when he comes back at all. Like, he may get 4 or 5 touches a game the rest of the year if Antonio Gibson keeps playing the way that he does. At least with Jamal Williams, he's getting 11, 12 carries a game. He's seeing a few targets a game. Nothing major, and then if something happens to DeAndre Swift, which would not be out of range of possibilities, then he would be seeing a pretty large touch share here in this offense that looks much better than it did before. So for me personally, I wouldn't want to drop Jamal Williams. I get that he has DeAndre Swift as kind of a redundant asset there. We don't really like handcuffing our players, but I really don't want to drop Jamal Williams with just the amount of touch or the amount of touches he sees. There's weeks you theoretically could play both of them, in a lineup, but when flex starts and all that stuff.
Yeah, I would hold Goff, Flacco, or Brady for Maria. Kevin and I are on Team Goff. Robbie is on Brady. Travis Elkins in a standard, Hollywood or London. I was leaning Hollywood until I saw the standard part. London has the higher touchdown upside, so I'm going to go London.
Does he?
I think so. I agree.
Why? Marcus Mariota and Kyler?
Yeah, I thought Marquise would just be getting absolutely peppered with targets, and that has not happened. And I'm not entirely sure. I know Hollywood's A-dot week 1 was not what we would expect. I don't know what it's like now after week 2, but London's that guy.
Yeah.
That's why. JT. Trade Barkley for Swift.
No.
Would you trade Swift for Barkley?
Yes.
Okay. Walito had a question like that in the chat earlier where I responded, like, I don't typically like flipping players that I consider like in like a similar tier at the same position. I just, you know what I mean? So those guys I have relatively close, so I don't know if you were feeling the same way. Russ or Derek Carr this week for truth?
I'm going to go Russ. I believe they'll turn it around.
I'm going to go Derek Carr.
Russ. Barkley for Swift or Henry for Swift?
I would do Henry for Swift.
Yeah. So the rankings would be Barkley, Swift, Henry.
Yeah.
Jayshra, thoughts on trading CEH and Cooks for Fournette?
Yeah.
Unless you have really good depth, I'd say no.
In a vacuum, I would, but like Robbie said, I'd also be interested in knowing who you have behind Cooks. But in a vacuum, I'm fine with it. Who should I possibly trade Christian Kirk for?
Tough
Sutton,
question to answer
Pittman.
because I have no idea what you need. You know what I mean? Like, there's so, I don't know what to say. I would trade him for. Like, I would want to know like what it is that what
If you
position
need,
needs the biggest upgrade, right?
yep. If you need a wide receiver, I'm trying to get Sutton. I'm trying to get Pittman. If people are lower on that, you can level up Christian Kirk up to one of those guys. If people are lower on Javante, trying to level up there, a running back. That's where I'd go.
Sorry, I just
Yeah, I think you're kind of looking at that like wide receiver 10 to like 14 range if you're trying to sell him high, and probably like a similar range for running back is probably like a similar range, like that 10 to 13. 2 QB leagues start Wilson, Matt Ryan, or Wentz. I do have a spot for a waiver. Waivers for Goff, Shaken Baker, and Mariota.
pick up Jared Goff.
Well, it's going to be Wilson and Wentz.
I would drop Wentz, or really Matt Ryan for that matter,
Yeah.
for Jared Goff.
Yeah, I would drop Matt Ryan for Goff. Zeke or Damian Harris in a PPR. Say it, Kev. Say it, Kev, so we can move on. Let Robbie hear you. Robbie, open your ears, open your heart.
Hearing it up.
Let Kevin say it, and then we'll move on.
Let's go Damian Harris here.
Okay. Zeke for me.
Zeke. Millie Mills, St. Brown, Sanders, and Stafford for Jay Hurts. Shouldn't make this move, correct?
Absolutely not. We're not giving away
Correct.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Miles Sanders, and Matt Stafford. Let me put it this way. I wouldn't give up Amon-Ra St. Brown for Jalen Hurts. I wouldn't give up Miles Sanders for Jalen Hurts, really, I don't think, if I had Stafford already. I would probably do Miles Sanders for Jalen.
I would consider Miles Sanders and Stafford.
I don't know what I'm saying there, but I wouldn't do it. I've reconsidered and I thought a little bit further. I was like, actually, I probably would, but I wouldn't do it. There's no shot in hell I'm doing it for Amon-Ra St. Brown.
London, Deontay, Gabe Davis. This is going to be Gabe Davis for all three of us. Out of the 5 here for RD, Hunt, CEH, ETN, CPAT, A. Jones. Full PPR.
Out of the 5, we're picking one. It'd be Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Aaron Jones, Clyde.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt would be 3. Chef and Obby, someone just offered me Nick Chubb, Curtis Samuel, and Kareem Hunt for Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce. My running back room is Javonte, Mixon, Pierce, Stevenson, Pollard, and Breece Hall. So Chubb, Samuel, and Hunt for Mixon and Pierce.
I would keep Mixon and Dameon Pierce.
Yeah, keeping them there as well. Najee, Saquon, Swift, ETN, and Henderson, Mike Thomas, T. Higgins, Mooney, Deontay. Should I trade for another RB for a elite wide receiver?
Yeah, I think you could. I mean, you might have to wait.
I don't think I would. There's obviously some question marks with these running backs you have, right? I mean, Najee could, the whole situation there, right? And the way he started, like, you're not going to get what you probably think you should get for him. And then Saquon, I want no part of trading. Trading him. The fact that, that he is that backfield. And then you have Swift, who carries his own question marks. Like, there's a lot of question marks in this backfield. And if one of them goes down, the rest of it looks if Najee suffers a Liz Frank injury and he's out for the rest of the year, then all of a sudden your running back room looks okay. But versus, trying to upgrade where I think, T. Higgins, I think he can still be a low end wide receiver 1, high end wide receiver 2. Deontay, I think, is going to be fine. Again, he's probably still going to be a wide receiver 2, maybe even a low end wide receiver 2, but I think you're still okay there. I don't want to lose the running backs that I have, and I think wide receivers are a lot easier to replace anyways, even just through waivers. on a weekly basis. Even if you want to stream wide receiver, I think there's going to be options there, especially once bye week starts. People having to start to drop players and all that stuff, so some of their bench players get dropped. But I do not want to trade with the running backs that you have here. There's just so much volatility here with this group. I would hate to lose one of them, and then next thing you know, another injury strikes, and now you're really screwed.
I would try and trade Najee, but I don't think you're getting up to that elite wide receiver range at this point.
Absolutely not.
Like I said, I think you just wait, but I would try and trade a running back to upgrade it, wide receiver.
Ronnie Santana has Schultz. Is Conklin a good replacement and go for someone else if Schultz is out for a couple of weeks? What is the what's the word on Schultz there in D-Town?
He's going to miss this week, I think, but maybe only 1 week.
I mean, Conklin has been the pass-catching tight end for the Jets. Ronnie, let us know who else is available, and we can try and help you out a little bit more there. I think Conklin's fine, but let us know what other names on the waivers. Kirk for Sutton, Team Sutton.
Yeah, this is Sutton across the board. What side better, the deal? Bateman and Hawkinson for Ertz, Elijah Moore, and Jacoby Myers. I want the Elijah Moore, Jacoby Myers side.
Take Bateman and Hawk. Close though. Just not a fantastic ceiling with Myers. Elijah Moore, like we were talking about with Garrett Wilson earlier, I think it's going to be up and down. I don't see both of those guys going off on a given week. Ertz, like we said, he's going to take a step back once D-Hop comes back. I mean, I don't mind either side, but I think I prefer Bateman and Hawkinson. Robbie, what side?
Yep, what you guys said.
Judy and Henderson for Montgomery and Dillon. Is that a dub for Real Dirty Dan?
I
think I want Judy here.
I think it's okay. I mean, hard to tell without the rest of the roster, but it's probably okay.
I don't think it's an L.
Correct.
But prefer Judy. Aiden, DJ Moore, A-Rob, James Conner, if he plays, or Curtis Samuel. Choose one in a full PPR. Aiden's 0-2. Speaking of dubs, we need a dub this week for Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go James Conner. And if he doesn't play, then I'm going to go Allen Robinson.
I'll go DJ Moore if James Conner doesn't play.
A-Rob. Already got that one. Ethan, who'd you start over Sutton, Mike Will, or Mike Thomas this week?
Sutton.
Agreed.
Sorry, I'm trying. There's a couple Pollard questions, Pollard comments right after that, and I don't know. Maybe that's from something earlier.
I can look. You can keep rolling.
Elite US, or you suck. I said US, UK. Trade Lamb and Hawk for Drake London and Bateman.
It's one of those CUP. What'd you say?
I'm a yes on this one.
Yeah. What does your tight end situation look like after this? Probably not the end of the world. You get a little bit of an upgrade there, but I think Lamb, when Dak comes back, will be a lot better than
Robbie. You had one job, Robbie.
One job.
You were supposed to watch for her lineup, and you never looked for it.
So need depth was
yes.
Jenna's,
and looking to trade Stephon Diggs because need depth. One, we can drop Carson Wentz, right? I don't see any super flex here, so we can drop Carson Wentz. I see the problem. I mean, like I think I would probably try to take TJ Hawkinson. I think you could maybe go with like somebody that doesn't have a tight end, and maybe would you go like if you could get like Damian Pierce for DJ for Hawkinson, would you, or like maybe a couple, maybe even wide receiver that maybe struggling, because I think you could even maybe get like a Jerry Jeudy off that. I think could be a position you could go after. I think that would be probably some sort of a viable strategy to go with, because you obviously don't need the two tight ends, and with Darren Waller, you're probably never going to start Hawkinson over Darren Waller at that point. And so I think you could take Hawkinson and probably trade him for something of value.
Yeah, Hawk is the clear one that sticks out. Maybe you can make a smaller deal and trade away Madison to the Cook owner. See if there's something there that you could work on, even if you had to try and pair something together. Look to see if anybody would potentially take Wentz. Obviously, we don't know your league, but there are some leagues that love themselves some quarterbacks, and with the way that Wentz has been playing through the first 2 weeks.
Maybe whoever had Dak.
Yeah, whoever had Trey Lance. You could look to do something there. I just don't know that I'd want to trade Diggs to try and put some Band-Aids on the team.
Right, and I think that you're just creating other issues anyway, because then, depending on what you're going after. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want to trade like your best asset and I think the player with the highest ceiling you have on this roster for. I just don't think it'd be worth it. I think he'd be better off making like small incremental moves here with this team. Like I even think like if you wanted to trade like a Terry McLaurin, I think would be a something that you could look to do too. Even package like a Hawk and McLaurin for I think a bigger upgrade.
Yeah. Easiest thing to do with any kind of trade is to take a look around your league and see if there's any weaknesses that your team could potentially could help out with.
And honestly, Jenna, if you're not already, you could jump into the Discord, and it would be a lot easier to send like screenshots of like some of the other teams and stuff like that to be able to tell you exactly what kind of packages you could probably put together to upgrade the team. I think that would be an easy way to do it too.
I think we got this one for we needed 2, so that would have been Aaron Jones and Clyde.
Yeah, it's your best friend.
Fucking hate that.
What is the cat's name anyway?
Well, we have 2, and that one is by far the worst. Like I can't get into it because we're behind on the questions.
I just want to know what the cat's name is. What's the cat's name?
No, in a 12 because I don't want to risk saying the name and then it comes in here thinking I want it. So I'm not going to do that. In a 12-team PPR, what tight end should I get for CEH and Schultz? I have Mixon, Harris, and Wilson at RB.
I mean, I think you have to get a top 4 or 5 tight end, probably a top 4 tight end. So Waller would be that lowest one I would settle for.
I mean, it's hard because with Schultz being out, you're asking another team for them to go out and hit the waivers. You're asking them to do your dirty work for you. So, I mean, if you see if there's someone holding 2 tight ends, I guess, and then maybe you can make a smaller deal and kind of let Schultz sit until you see how he is. But that's going to be tough to do. Consider, because then the team you trade him to is going to be in the same hole that you are in. So maybe just let us know if there's anyone in your league that has 2 tight ends for whatever reason, or put Schultz on the trade block and see what kind of nibbles that you get. Randy Faz, will JT be worth keeping, or should I trade him for a wide receiver 1? Yes,
I think you're hanging on to him.
He'll be fine. I mean, you can always dangle him again. You can always put him on the trade block to see what kind of trades you get. But in a vacuum, he's absolutely worth keeping. Keep the faith. Will this be the week Pitts goes off?
Yeah, I think we're due. Going against Seattle, I absolutely think it can be. He's not going to be bad forever.
Need a wide receiver 2 in a flex here for CKK. Have Juju, Julio, Henderson, Dotson, Anderson.
Julio for the wide receiver 2.
Juju for the wide receiver 2.
Juju. Juju for the wide receiver 2, not Julio. Juju for the wide receiver 2. And I'll go Dotson in the flex.
Interesting. I'll go Julio in the flex. Just the thing with Dotson, man, is he's living off of efficiency. He's just been scoring a bunch of touchdowns. Hasn't really been seeing. I guess last week he saw 8 targets, I believe, but the week before that it was 5, caught 2 touchdowns. So gonna go Julio there, but I don't mind the Dotson call either. Trung, is it time to panic on Derrick Henry? I have CMC and Gibson as my other running backs. Maybe, but like we talked about earlier, you're not going to be able to trade him at this point. You're going to have to wait for one of his 115-2 kind of games, and once you get that, if you're worried, then you can try and move on from him. But as of right now, probably not worth trying to trade him.
I'm not panicking on Derrick Henry yet.
Dotson, I'm assuming this is an either or for LPC. Dotson or Wilson?
Man, Wilson has looked good. Even week 1, he looked really good. They're throwing so much with Flacco. I'm going to go Wilson actually here.
Wilson for me as well. Jack, I'm not sure if you haven't seen this because we're still catching up, but we said Henry, you can trade Henry for Swift for sure. Emmy rocking with us. Good to see Emmy in here. If you're new with us, please hit us with a sub and a like. We appreciate all of you. We're going to try to get to all your questions, so please be patient here. We are running about a half hour behind. Should I trade A-Rob and Henderson for London and Pollard, or Sutton and Gordon?
I would do this second one. So you're trading away A-Rob and Henderson, getting Sutton and Gordon. Yes, I would do that.
Yeah, I would do that as well. Raylan, we need one of your random questions.
Mm-hmm.
You have yet to hit us with a random question this year, Raylan. Need one of those from you. Yeah. Do I keep Elliott, Jeff Wilson, Penny, or ETN as the last bench RB?
Oh, short bench here.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I mean, I think when Dak comes back, Elliott's going to be better. So I'll go Elliott there.
Yeah, give me the running back in the best offense. Wilson or Herbert rest of the season. That is going to be Justin Herbert. Mm-hmm. One defense for this week's Saints, Chicago, or Denver. This is going to be the Saints for me.
Broncos. No, sorry, Saints. They were all the way up at 2. I was like, why can't I find them? Yeah, Saints.
We need 2 here for Trung. Cooper, Deontay, Garrett Wilson in a half PPR.
This would be Amari Cooper, because I don't think he'd be asking if it was Cooper Kupp. So I'm going to go Amari.
Are we playing both wide receivers in this gross-ass game?
Right? This is going to be a gross game, isn't it? I'll go Cooper.
I'm going to go Cooper and Deontay, but I don't I don't love it.
Minimum one's going to be a dud for you. Minimum.
Man, I want to say Wilson, but I don't know. Cooper looked good. He finally got peppered with targets. He looked good. Deontay's getting peppered. So is Garrett Wilson, though. But I just feel like if it could be an Elijah Moore week, right?
And I think it will be. Yeah.
Is King Henry on a downhill or just wait? This one for Matthew over on Facebook. I think you just have to wait at this point. No one's going to take someone who gained 20 yards on the ground last week off your hands. Like I said, with all these other guys, you can always put them on the trade block, see what kind of nibbles you get, but your best bet is to wait. There's definitely going to be an 80-1, and people are going to say Henry is back, or a 102, and then you can flip him at that point. Thomas, I will be completely honest with you. I have not looked at any props for tomorrow because I think it's just going to be super gross. And I don't want to hate myself and lose money and have a gross-ass game. So I'm probably just staying away. I haven't looked, though. Thomas, if you're not in the Discord yet, jump in the Discord. We have an entire channel just for props. And Walito is always in there. Alexis is always in there. I'm in there. Tom is always in there as well. So join us over on the Discord. One wide receiver and a flex here for Emmy. Judy, if he plays, Bateman, A-Rob, Henderson, Harris, and or Dameon Pierce.
I would take Judy if he plays. If not, I think the only other wide receiver there is Bateman. So you go
A-Rob.
A-Rob.
I have A-Rob over Bateman.
I'll go Bateman over A-Rob. I'm not as high on A-Rob as you two. His target share was still really low last week, even in the squeaky wheel game. Almost had 2 touchdowns. I'll go Bateman and then A-Rob in the flex.
Down with that. New England or Dallas defense?
Dallas.
Dallas for me as well. Our ma'am Tam, should I be concerned about playing Connor? Playing LA? Same thought on Pittman. I mean, it depends what other options you have, as always. If they play, I'm plugging both of them in. You just kind of have to cross your fingers and hope for the best. But like I said, it depends on who you are potentially sitting them or not sitting them for. Henderson or Hollywood in the flex?
Hollywood.
Agreed.
J-Rob and ETN on the same team for Raylan. What do I do with ETN?
Hold on. There'll be better game scripts.
Yeah. Revored. Dominator of the Galaxy. Petty, Ramondre, Shepard, Jamal Williams, Claypool, or Isaiah McKenzie. Josh Allen's the QB. Full PPR 12 team and need a flex. Highest ceiling option as well. Kev, this is your cup of tea. Who's the highest? Who we swinging for the fences here with?
I think it's probably Sterling Shepard.
Mark that down on things I did not think would be said in 2022. Kev, right back at you. Would you trade Darnell Mooney for Van Jefferson and Chase Claypool?
No.
Would you trade Brees for London or Kirk? That's a yes for me, and that is a yes for either.
No. I don't think it's for. I mean, I think you could do it for Drake London, but I think I would rather hold on to Brees. I think I would rather hold on to Brees. Unless you're just loaded at running back and you just don't need him, and you're just good to go and you maybe need help at wide receiver. But I would rather hold on to Brees Hall.
Interesting. Little nugget here from T Trilla. Let's fact check that. Joe Kingsley, should I offer Henderson and ETN for AJ Dillon? And is this Brian Robinson?
Or it's got.
I'm assuming.
Or Daryl Henderson?
I love the.
Well, we already
Titans.
have Daryl Henderson in the first part of this.
There it is.
Oh no, I
If-
see that.
if
Okay,
you're-
never mind. Yeah, you're right.
Joe, if you're rocking with us still, drop this in here again, and
Let's assume it's Brian Robinson, and I would do that actually. Yeah, give me Dylan.
yeah, you can offer it, sure.
So that is so. It is just Jamal Williams does have the most red zone touches at 9. The next closest is Nick Chubb at 8. But then it's but at goal line carries or inside the 5, Antonio Gibson is first with 4, and then Jamal Williams is second, tied with Jalen Hurts, Jimmy Garoppolo. Not something I expected to see, and Joe Mixon.
Nice.
So he was correct.
I think you drop Patterson for Brees Hall. Definitely not with either the first two.
Correct.
But I think you do it for CPAT. Would you trade Brees for London? We already got to that one. I was ruled out. Keep Zeke or trade for Pierce in a standard rest of season.
Keeping Zeke.
I want to keep Zeke in a standard. Better offense. As much as Pollard looks better, they're not going to completely get away from Zeke. They're just not going to do it. Is Casey still a decent defensive streamer? If Pittman plays, yep, you can still feel confident with that. Bruno, trade Jeff Wilson, Mike Williams, and Bateman for Pierce and Debo. Have both Jeff and Bateman as bench players. Think Bateman will be too volatile.
I don't think I do that. You can do that. I just want to get better pieces back. I don't think you're getting enough for.
I think
Wilson.
I would do that.
The most helpful fantasy show around.
I can remove Jeff
if
Wilson.
they're both
to me, I view this as like Mike Williams and Rashad Bateman, or Damian Pierce and Debo is the way that I would look at this.
Why?
I think
because I think Jeff Wilson's one volatile. 2, Elijah Mitchell's going to come back. I think this is going to be a committee. Like this, Jeff Wilson is like fine as an option, but they have so many other options, and they're telling us that they clearly don't feel all that comfortable with Jeff Wilson and the pieces they have if they're bringing in other running backs.
No, they're bringing in other running backs because they don't have any. They got hurt. They had 2 active running backs.
And they brought up Marlon Mack, and they also brought brought in. So
yeah,
it's just a volatile situation, and so
does Trey Sermon get run this week, Robbie?
He might for the Eagles practice squad.
Either way, it's still a short-term option because Elijah Mitchell will be back.
I'll take a running back 2 for 3 or 4 weeks.
Right, but then you're talking about again, you're getting Debo, which with Jimmy Garoppolo is a big upgrade. I mean, it's from what it would have been with Trey Lance, right? And so now, I mean, I think Debo, you can realistically view him as a top 10 probably wide receiver or something like that. Especially he's continuing to see he's continuing to see running back carries and everything else like he was last year. And so I think he's a much safer bet. Where Mike Williams is still going to be volatile week to week, and then Rashad Bateman is definitely going to be volatile week to week. To be able to trust, on any given week. And so then, I also like the upside of Damian Pierce. And so I would take that trade.
The way I'm looking at this is Jeff Wilson and Pierce are swaps. And then I'm thinking to myself, would I trade Mike Williams and Bateman for Debo? And I don't know that I do that. So I think I would keep it, but it's close. Bruno, if you go with the trade, we would not have an issue with that. I do not think. I think it's fine either way. But just breaking it down like that, I don't know that I would give up both those receivers for Debo. And B, sorry that we missed these. For some reason, the $1.99 super chats aren't showing up whenever they're posted. So apologies. Really appreciate you hitting us with this. Hollywood or London in a PPR?
This is London for me.
I'll have Hollywood higher this week.
I got Hollywood in a PPR. I said standard London PPR. I will go Hollywood.
Yeah, we did have this for standard, didn't we? Yeah.
On that one. The Dark Wolf, Jackson, Williams, Barkley, Cup, Dotson, Hurst, London as the starting lineup. Garoppolo, Dobbins, Penny, Lockett, Metcalf, Kittle. Any thoughts or trades I should make?
Drop
Jimmy
Garoppolo.
Yeah. I will take the low hang. I'll take the low hanging fruit. I mean, Williams and Barkley, really nice running back pair. Cup, Dotson, London.
I think this team needs an upgrade at wide receiver. Like I like Jahan Dotson and I love Drake London, but I think getting another wide receiver. We obviously have DK Metcalf, but I think he may look to trade DK Metcalf and
one of Dotson, London,
or maybe you go to somebody and also include like J.K. Dobbins or Rashad Penny into it.
I think you move Penny.
Put Penny into the deal. And then, I think you get a solid like wide receiver 2 that I think you'd feel okay about.
Yep.
Did we say to start Wilson and Goff over Wentz and Matt Ryan?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll have Wentz over Goff, but they're close enough that if you guys feel strongly on Goff.
Yeah, I said you can drop Matt Ryan to pick up Goff. I would still want to probably still holding Wentz there.
Yep.
Jose, I have Schultz on my bench, Freiermuth playing, and Russ Wilson at quarterback. Should I drop Schultz and stream another QB like Mariota? Stay the way I am. Let's not panic, Jose. Better days are ahead. We have to remember too. This is this is Russ with a new group of weapons for the first time in his career. Basically, he's always had some sort of familiarity. They didn't play any preseason games together, so we probably should have expected a slow start for Denver.
Just
much
a devil's advocate on that, though. Is it possible that Russell Wilson is in fact cooked? I mean, he did not look very good last year, whether that was before or after. That team was bad last year with Russell Wilson. Now, of course, he missed time because of the injury and stuff like that. But I don't know. And he hasn't looked good this year. I mean, he's made some really bad decisions and some of the plays he's made. And so I do think they will probably figure this thing out. But I don't know. I think there's at least some level of concern with Russell Wilson. Is he still the same guy that he used to be? But yeah.
I mean, he threw for 340 and had a touchdown, 70% completion in week 1. I mean, you're just upset about the one touchdown. He's not the runner he used to be, but he's a top 10 quarterback for me.
Chargers or Broncos D for CB?
Chargers. If
Kittle doesn't play this week, should I start Hayden Hurst or Logan Thomas? Robbie told me to drop him last night, but I don't know if Kittle is good to go.
Kittle had limited practice. It sounds like he's going to be good to go.
I saw something saying that Kittle was close to playing last week as well. I mean, I'd probably still hold on to Logan Thomas if you have him just in case, just to wait and make sure. Unless there's somebody out there sitting on your waiver that you feel like you need to grab right now. I would hold him just to be sure, but it sounds like should be all right. Pada. Good to see YP back here. Should I trade away McLaurin for Hall? PPR, other running backs are McCaffrey and Saquon. Other wide receivers are Chase and Deontay.
I would.
Browns defense or pick up Chiefs or Broncos?
I think I would go Browns.
Yeah. Browns for me as well. Talked about both. Didn't talk about the Broncos in my streaming video because they're more widely owned, but Browns are my number 2. Trade away McLaurin for Kittle. I have Everett.
Assuming
So
that
McLaurin for Hall or McLaurin for Kittle?
I would. Depends on your running back needs, but I would probably do Kittle.
McCaffrey
If
McCaffrey and
this is
Saquon,
the
remember?
same, is this the same team that he's trading with? Or the same person? Because if he is, I would include McLaurin and Everett or Kittle and Hall and see if you could make that happen. If it's the same person.
Yeah.
Yep, you can try. I would trade McLaurin for either Kittle first for me.
Gator fan, go ahead and pick up the Chargers. Fantastic schedule for the next 6 weeks. Aaron Jones versus Tampa or Sutton versus San Fran for Terry. This one's going to be Sutton for me.
Yeah, I don't want to sit Aaron Jones, but if you have to.
I'm going to go Aaron Jones.
Do we really think London is sustainable the whole season with Mariota and ATL tanking? The tanking thing I don't think is necessarily applicable here. I mean, you're still talking about NFL players who want to stay in the NFL.
Right.
So I don't think you're going to see, the entire Falcons team just lay down and get ran over. I think the way their roster is set up tanks for them, but I don't think you're going to see active tanking among the players. The only thing that worries me with London is the fact that Pitts has not been involved yet. That is the only thing that worries me. Do I think he's going to come out and put up 8 for 80 in a score every week? No, but that's the one thing that
there's nobody else there either.
What?
Right? There's nobody else taking pulling targets away from him outside of potentially Kyle Pitts. But I mean, even still, like there's enough there for both of them to coexist. And so, do I think that he's going to continue to have a almost 34% target rate or target share, for the rest of the year? No, probably not. But I still think he can live somewhere in the 26 to 28% range with this offense and still be, and still put up, pretty solid numbers. I mean, right now he's wide receiver 16 in fantasy points per game. I think by the end of the year, you're probably looking at a player who could put up 14, 15 fantasy points per game in PPR, something like that. I think because the 18.5 is going to drop. I mean, that's by the end of the year, that'll be like a wide receiver 1 type number there.
I think he falls. I think he falls in more to that to flex level. I don't think it's sustainable. Mariota's throwing 200 yards a game, a touchdown every other game. I expect that to continue.
Do you think they go to Desmond Ridder?
Middle of the season. I think I pegged him for 8 games, 8 and 9. So I think middle of the season.
I think they have to. I mean, with the way their team is, they're not going anywhere. They're not playing for anything. I think it's smart to see what you have in him. Just like I think we're going to see Malik Willis sooner rather than later.
I hope not. Look lost.
Well, I mean, it was a first start on the road. Not start, but first game action on the road against the Bills in a pretty hostile environment.
It looked like it.
So negative. Such a hater. So I think this next one I just scrolled up from Ronnie is he was talking about trying to trade CEH and Schultz. So I think this is him giving us an idea of what is left on his.
I mean, I would trade. Oh, I was talking about. Did we answer the Terry one? When you just had up? No.
Yep, I skipped. We'll go back to that one.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so tight end waivers.
Yeah, Hurst would be the best out of this group. He has 15 targets in 2 weeks.
I would trade James Robinson for Drake London.
And I'd have Christian Kirk as the target there over Drake London.
Yeah. OG, can I bench Wilson at this point and wait for them to figure this out? Or there's news about wanting the head coach of Denver to be fired. I don't think so. I can't imagine you're going to pick somebody off of waivers that.
Nathaniel Hackett has been really bad. I mean, he has made some really bad decisions so far. Now he is a rookie head coach. You know, the same could be said for Josh McDaniels as well. Some decisions he's made, the stuff that's happened there. But yeah, I mean, you still need to. I mean, I think you wait and see with Russell Wilson. I think there'll be better days ahead.
These are two here for Jair Bangers: Cooper, Wilson, DK, Ayuk.
Ayuk and
Cooper for me.
DK Metcalf.
DK and Ayuk.
Aguilar versus Baltimore or Hawk in the flex versus the Vikes.
Man, we're really digging down with
Yeah.
Nelson Aguilar. I know he just had coming off a pretty good game, but I think that was off of like one play, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Hawk.
He only saw like 6 targets, I believe, because I know Troy Myers like double him with 13.
13, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll go Hawk as well.
Yeah.
Pick 2, flex 1 out of JJ Sutton, Allen, DJ Moore, Wilson, Higgins. First 2 and the last 1.
Correct.
Yeah.
Pitt's rest of the season, like we kind of just hit on James, just going to be probably not going to be able to sustain Pitts and London on a week-to-week base, but Pitts is going to get more involved. There's just no way that he doesn't. But teams start keying in on Drake London. It's just going to open things up for Pitts.
I mean, it really hasn't even been, but it really hasn't been bad though. I mean, I'm still seeing 5 targets a game, which isn't like great, but it's not. I mean, it's not as bad as what I think people are making it out to be.
He was just overdrafted. I think that's the problem. He was 3rd, 4th round pick, and
yeah, I mean, he saw week 1, he saw 7 targets. Last week, he only saw 3. In terms of routes run, I mean, it's not great either. He's 18th in routes run, and that's not good. Obviously, still seeing 3 deep targets, 1 red zone target. Like he's going to bounce back. He's going to be better than the 3.9 fantasy points per game that he's averaging right now. His 4 catches for 38 yards. They're going to figure out a way to get the ball.
Flappy Chap traded CMC, Wilson, and Hill for Adams, Lamar, and Andrews.
Big boy trade.
That is a big boy trade.
Oh boy. Makes me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I would have rather have had the CMC, Wilson, and Tyreek Hill side.
Makes me a little nervous. But
I don't mind it.
Dominate.
I don't mind it.
I don't know. I mean, to me, obviously you got the better end of the deal on the getting Lamar over Russell Wilson. But I mean, I'll take Tyreek Hill all day over Mark Andrews. And then Christian McCaffrey, like I want over Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm. You can drop Julio. I'd hang on to D-Hop.
Yeah, you can't drop DeAndre Hopkins.
Would you trade Debo for Cook? Running backs are Mixon and Eckler. Wide receivers are Debo, Sutton, Amon-Ra, MT, Deontay in a 2-flex league.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, with all the weapons you have here, yes.
Who are you putting in for Schultz, Higbee, Thomas, or Conklin?
Tyler Higbee.
Higbee, for sure.
Yep. So for running, someone in this league has Waller and Patty Fry. So he was saying to throw out CE8 and Schultz.
I would do that
I mean,
for Waller.
if they need running back help, you could try and do it. Or I mean, would you guys trade CEH for Patty? Because CEH isn't getting you Waller, right? And if someone has Waller and Freiermuth, do they really need Schultz? I mean, you can always try.
You can try CEH for Waller. I mean, it's close. I mean, Waller would have been a 6th-round pick. CEH was probably a 7th-round pick. Maybe they're 5th and 6th, somewhere around there. I mean, they're close. I'd try that first, and if not, you can send Schultz along with him and upgrade tight end.
Trade Henry for Brees and either DK or Deontay.
Not yet. I think you can wait a week on Henry.
Gator fans, starting Hollywood and Cooks are my wide receivers. If Connor doesn't play or I don't want to chance it, pick 2 of the following for my flexes in a full PPR. So we need 2 out of A-Rob, Dillon, Bateman, Claypool. A-Rob and Bateman for me.
Yeah.
Boom. Tough actin', Tinactin. RB2 options, Jeff Wilson, starting right now, Melvin Gordon, or Hines. JT is a starter, though, so we probably don't want to plug in JT and Hines.
Correct.
So
yeah,
Wilson
I'd stick with Jeff
or
Wilson.
Melvin.
Wilson
for me as well. Share my concerns about Connor and Pittman. My team is Eckler, Chubb, Cooks, and AJ Brown. Need a flex.
Michael Pittman.
Pittman for me as well. I know you guys told me to start Juju wide receiver 2, but Bateman is on someone's bench in one of my leagues. So I try and make the trade or stay put on Juju.
I'd hold out.
I want Juju as well. Should I trade Debo for Mixon
Yes.
if I have Tyreek, Mike Will, Samuel, and Bateman?
Yes.
Would you draw Penny for Mostert or Brian Robinson in PPR?
I don't know if Penny's droppable.
And not for the other 2 options that you're going to be trying to get anyway.
Yeah.
Would you drop Edmonds for Olave or Ken Walker?
Can you add both?
Yeah, I'd want to know the rest of the roster. See if
Yeah,
there's
is
someone else.
Edmonds because I'm guessing if Olave and Kenneth Walker are sitting out there,
Right.
this is probably a shallower league, maybe like a 8-man league, probably. With the,
I think you can.
maybe
And
10.
you can. I think you can drop Edmonds in because if it's that shallow, I don't know if Edmonds is cracking your lineup. But if Olave becomes what we hope and he has those boom weeks a little bit more consistently, or Kenneth Walker takes over the backfield, I think you have higher boom shots with both of those guys.
Tony, choose between Bateman, Robinson, or Dotson rest of season in a PPR. Says A-Rob.
I would rank him A-Rob, Bateman, and Dotson.
Samesies. Herbert or Wentz?
This is Herbert.
Yeah.
Herbert got in limited practice today. It sounds like he's going to play. They said he's doing much better. He's going to wear one of those, flak jackets or
Kevlar.
whatever. Probably hit him with the old shot. Just stay away from the lung, please.
No,
just stay away from the lung.
Just don't chance it. Justin, don't do it. Don't do it. Is Amari Cooper and Everett for Cook?
I
don't think it gets it done.
Oh no.
I mean, if that someone's offering that to you, then I would have already hit accept. But
yeah,
But if you're making the trade, then
I would not.
No, that's probably not going to happen.
I would not offer that.
Well, if you're getting Cook,
yeah, if someone's offering.
I'm just saying I wouldn't offer Amari Cooper and
send
Everett.
it.
Right,
No, I wouldn't.
But if it's being offered, we're slamming accept.
Yeah. Correct.
808, Michael Thomas or Curtis Samuel in the flex.
That's MT. Yep.
Strong, I did see that Walito just dropped it in. I'll drop it in just to make sure that Walito isn't leading anyone astray. But Discord is where everything is happening. Isaac, is Mixon worth trading for with the Bengals line being as bad as they've been, considering trading Javonte or Kareem Hunt and Chase for him in a non-PPR league? Well, Javonte and Chase is too much.
Kareem Hunt and Chase, to me, is too much. I don't want to trade Jamar Chase.
Yeah. I want to keep Chase there. I think that line gets better. We saw something similar, but it wasn't as bad. But the Chiefs line at the beginning of the year last year struggled. It didn't result in Patty getting sacked 13 times in 2 games, but that was a line that everyone had super high expectations for, with better pieces than what this Bengals line has right now. And it took them until about week 7 or 8 until they really started to gel together. And the pieces on this offensive line also missed time as well. So I think they do get better. I think it's going to take time, but I'm not going to do it for either of these running backs with Chase on top. Stick with Chase, but then maybe, if Mixon, I think Mixon bounces back this week. But I probably, Kev, Javonte or Mixon in a non-PPR.
I mean, it's Mixon, but they're not going to trade you Mixon for Javonte straight up, right? So they're going to want you to throw in something else, and I'm not trading Jamar Chase. Yeah. Now, I still think, by the end of the year, it very well could be Javonte Williams.
Unless that's Chase Edmonds for some reason.
Oh, well, then that'd be a different conversation. But I'm pretty sure that's Jamar Chase, and so yeah, I'm not doing that.
Emmy would like to upgrade to a solid wide receiver here with this team. Do we see any fits? JT, Javonte, Pierce, Harris, Robinson, Etienne, Henderson, Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Judy Bateman, Andrews, Mooney, A-Rob, Gallup. Yeah, you don't really have a wide receiver 1. You have a bunch of solid wide receiver 2 options, other than Mooney.
Was that a dig? Was that a dig? I felt like that was a dig.
It wasn't a dig. It was just like a little flick to the back of your ear while you weren't paying attention.
Huh. I didn't like that.
Or a 5.
I can't wait for Mooney to come out this week and have 8 for 120 and 2, and then
3 for 54, and we're celebrating in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I want to keep JT and Javonte. Maybe you can take Pierce or Etienne. Maybe pair that with a Bateman. With Bateman having 2 solid weeks and maybe trying to do something like that. But you're gonna have to pair together probably one of like I said, Pierce. So find a team that maybe needs some running back help, where you can also give a receiver in return for you to upgrade your receiver spot. Pollard or Jeff Wilson? All right, I'll just break the tie off the bat.
Is it for this week?
Seems like it.
Yeah, if we're just talking this week, it's Wilson.
Just go ahead and
I knew you were
break
going to
the
say
tie.
Wilson. I know Kev is going to say Pollard. I will go. I'm going to go Wilson for this week.
That low.
It's close. It is close for me. Is Dalvin Cook worth it? Is trading for Dalvin Cook worth it right now?
I think so. Makes sense.
I mean,
it's that buy low.
Two low weeks. You can definitely try for it. T Trilla, appreciate you. Please hit us with a thumb. Give us a sub while you're at it. Right next to each other. Matt Fowler, should I trade Debo for Mixon if I have? We already went through this one, right? Did we go through this one?
No, there was a different Debo trade question. And this,
We've had
yes,
a lot
I
of
would
trade
trade
questions
Debo for
tonight.
Mixon. Yes.
Tyreek, Mike Williams, Carter Samuel, Bateman, Eckler, Jacobs, Akers.
We did do this one. We did this one.
Reynaldo, sit one. Myers, Dotson, Juju, Marquise.
Sit Dotson.
I'm sitting Myers.
No, ridiculous. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I'll sit Dotson as well. Full PPR, we need 2 here for Nick. Hollywood, Samuel, Cooper, Garrett Wilson. Hollywood and Cooper for me.
Hollywood and Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm going.
Yep. Ooh, I think that's our first one. Is that our first one?
That's not our first one. No way. We had Sutton on one other one, right?
Patty Fry for Pitts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you drop Schultz for Patty?
Yeah.
Why? Why are we doing that? Just.
Yeah, I mean, if we aren't expecting Dak for another 2-3 weeks.
I would say though, Cooper Rush. I mean, even just not even this past week, but I mean, going back to last year when he got a start. I mean, he looks like a competent quarterback. Like he's not somebody that I'm like he's not somebody that's just like you're trying to hide. This looks absolutely terrible. Now, I mean, he's not great or anything like that, but he certainly can get the job done. And so, like I don't know, I don't know. It's definitely the better offense, and I think in a couple of weeks you definitely could be seriously regretting dropping him for Patty Fry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming Schultz gets marked out, and if you're able to stash him, but I don't want to carry 2 tight ends at that level. I guess was my thing.
Ayo Lex. Carson Wentz and Henderson for Najee Harris.
Yes.
Yeah. Get Najee. Who are some good guys I should try to get out of trading Metcalf and Penny? I think if you're trying to package them, it's going to be rough. I'm not sure it's going to be anyone who wants to buy in on this, get 2 pieces of this Seattle offense.
I think that is who we mentioned, who we would trade. Which does make sense, but even if you could trade, like, let's say instead of trading Penny, you just wanted to trade Metcalf straight up. Would you trade Metcalf for Juju Smith-Schuster?
Yeah.
Would you trade Metcalf for Deontay Johnson?
No.
Oh.
I would.
So it's the Spider-Man meme.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. But what about
DK bunch of targets, no upside.
What about for CeeDee Lamb?
Lamb, yes.
Yep. That's a good name right there. That would be one. Do Metcalf for
trade-
Lamb or go ahead.
Penny for Cam Akers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Penny
Yep.
or AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon, yeah.
Okay. Would you trade Schultz and D Hop for CD and Dak for Caleb Tubbs?
Yes.
What's the quarterback situation? Do you need Dak?
Well,
I would
even
say
if
no.
you get Dak, you're not
Yeah.
not using him for.
Yeah, I would
for a
say
little bit.
no.
I prefer CD to D Hop. And
I
I
do.
guess it depends on what other tight end you have, but yeah, I think it would. Gluckeye got offered a trade to give AJ Dillon for Bateman and Mooney. Currently have Fournette, Mixon, Sutton, Cooks, Curtis Samuel, my starting five.
I would hold Dillon. I'm assuming Dillon's probably is running back 3. And I would hold Dillon there.
Yeah, I think I'm holding as well. Cody Ledbetter might be overthinking this, but I was thinking about trading Fournette and Patty for Andrews and Montgomery. Also in Rashad White. It's a matter of time before Lenny goes down. Cody coming in hot with the negativity. Fournette and Patty for Andrews and Monty.
Yeah, I'd probably make that move.
Yeah, I think it would too.
Yeah. Follow-up from Kate here and dropping Edmonds for Olave or Walker. Brees, Damian, and Lazard on the bench. Starting backs are Barkley, Henry, and Javonte.
Yeah.
Think you could drop Edmonds and Lazard to get Olave and Walker?
I don't think I'd drop Lazard for those guys. I'd probably just do Edmonds and then I'd pick up Olave because I think you already have Brees. So you have that running back later in the year upshot.
I would drop Edmonds and Lazard for the both of them.
Pick 2, Juju, Ayuk, Akers, Curtis Samuel.
First 2.
Cap, are you with that? Have Jamar Jefferson, Gabe Davis, wide receivers, Kelsey at tight end, ETN, Pollard, AJ Dillon as the running backs. Which RB do I bench? And a 13-man.
Oh, twist.
How did you get Jamar and Jefferson and Kelsey in a 13-man? This has to be like a keeper or something. Unless this is a 1 to 3 man league instead of a 13-man.
All right. I'm
Sometimes
not assuming
we have 3
anything.
guys, sometimes just myself.
We still talking about fantasy football? What's happening?
I could possibly see that. Possibly. If the wide receivers, I mean, some leagues really overvalue running backs, and especially once you start getting a little bit or further up in terms of a past 12 man.
But then to get Kelsey at tight end too. Anyway, okay, who are we benching? ETN, Pollard, AJ Dillon.
Pollard.
Wrong.
I'm gonna bench AJ Dillon.
I'm benching Travis Etienne.
ETN would be my second answer. So if that helps out at all, Devin. Drop Knox or Irv Smith. Is that a mistake? I would prefer Knox. I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world, but I'd prefer Knox. This is why Brian was asking the question about the drop earlier with Mostert. I just don't. Mostert's not going to take over. It was Chase Edmonds who led the way week 1. Mostert led the way week 2. I think it's going to just be a mixed bag all week. I mean, all year, rather. And then Mostert does not have a clean bill of health, and he is approximately 37 years old. So
he did not look all that explosive. Like he didn't run well.
Scooby-Doo. Do I trade away Eckler and Bateman for Javonte and Sutton? Yeah, I think I'd do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Alberto starting because of Schultz, and I drop Albert and try and pick up Logan Thomas, Conklin, Hurst, or Brait.
I'm sticking with Alberto for this week.
Logan Thomas would be the guy I would look at out of them. But I think I stick with Alberto. Thoughts on Damian Pierce? Looks like he finally started to get some run last week. In order for him to reach his full potential, he's going to have to take away that more of that receiving work from Rex, though. But it was good to see him get involved. And like Kev was mentioning earlier, Lovie Smith loves him some Damian Pierce, it seems like. OG, who do you think the waiver pickup of the year will be? Ooh.
I mean,
have we gotten it yet?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe like a Garrett Wilson could end up being that, because Garrett Wilson, I think he wasn't a guy that was heavily drafted. So like I think Garrett Wilson as of right now could be that. Maybe Curtis Samuel if it's not like a short-term deal here with him. But no, I don't think we've seen the waiver wire out of the year. We didn't get one this year really that was like that like just kind of happened week 1 or 2 where it was just like ends up going down as like a kind of league winning type ad. Like we haven't had that yet. At least at running back we haven't.
Darrell Williams if Connor goes down.
That, or I could maybe see like a Tyler Algier, I think is a possible option.
Potential trade here from the sideline star. Kelsey, McLaurin, Sanders for Pitts, Lamb, Javonte. Which side do we want? I want the Pitts side.
Pretty easily.
Yeah.
Jameis injury scares me. Might be able to get Javonte for Pittman or MT and Patterson/Gibson.
If you can get Javonte for Michael Thomas, I'm doing that. For even Michael Thomas and Cordell Patterson, I would do that.
CH Schultz and Shepard for the Muth and Javonte Williams. He needs wide receiver help.
I think, yeah. I mean, you might be able to get him to do that, especially with Javonte Williams not like dominating the first. I mean, he was good week 1. I think he had almost 20, I believe, but last week was much more down to earth. Where CEH has really played well over the last 2 weeks, but even last week his opportunity share was only like 53% or something like that. So he's still not getting the same type of work people think, and so I think he's actually like a low key decent sell high candidate right now.
Speaking of Javonte, we need to bench one out of this group. Javonte, Najee, Henderson or Akers for week 3. I am team Akers.
As well. Agreed.
Noel just traded Bateman and AJ Dillon for Fournette. What do we think?
I think it's really solid.
I like that. Any strategy to win a 20-team league?
Let's pray and stay healthy.
Pray to the health lords. Strategy wise, it's so hard because like you can't really plan out like a 20-team draft, right? Like it's so hard to be like, all right, man, round 1, try and grab this. Round 2, go and get this. I mean, it really is, especially in a 20-man. It's just the best player available. I wouldn't try and worry about like filling out certain spots in my lineup. If you end up going 0 RB, whatever, that like everyone's going to have weaknesses in a 20-team league. So I would just do a best player available kind of approach. And then if you can make trades throughout the year, you're probably going to have to try and be the most active person trading and on waivers and continually trying to churn your roster. That's going to be your best way, because in a 20-team league, if you have teams that start losing, if you can take advantage of the people who are kind of giving up and not paying attention, that's going to be your best way to do it.
Christian Welch is known for doing this, right? He's making trade offers every single week.
Hour.
Yeah, day, hour, exactly. I would try and be that guy. There's 19 other owners. You're gonna have a couple that you can do 2-for-1s and upgrade at various positions and just churn the waiver wire. Just try and get your top 5 or 6 guys to be as elite as possible.
So after that trade with Noel, the team is now Saquon, Lenny, AJ Brown, Pittman, Kelsey, Kirk in the flex. Well done.
Nice.
Mac, star one, CD, Dylan, Bateman in a non-PPR.
CD Lamb.
I agree.
Yeah. Saxton Miller. Who wins the trade? Mike Williams and CEH for Joe Mixon.
I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mixon side?
Mixon side.
Simon says Kamara and Pittman for Adams and London, half PPR.
I'm going to keep Kamara side.
Mm-hmm.
Patty or Higbee for this week. It's going to be Higbee.
Yeah.
Carter, Devonta Smith or Ayuk. And Carter or James Robinson full PPR. Who do I start? So Ayuk. And man, J-Rob, I guess.
I do the 2 wide receivers.
I think he needs a wide receiver and a running back.
Then I do Smith and Robinson.
Cooper, Lockett, Drake start 2.
Sit Tyler Lockett.
Robinson or Henderson?
I'm going to go James Robinson.
Robinson.
Trey Kyle Pitts or hold him for a good week. You got to hold at this point. Look at this. Drake found us through scrolling through Twitter. Appreciate you rocking with us. We are on Twitter. Not super active, but we do have an account.
We try.
we have an account. Do I trade JT Henderson and T. Higgins? My God, the big boy trades coming through today.
Mm-hmm.
JT Henderson and Higgins for Jamar and Kamara. And Japan? Who's
Japan? You got Japan in this deal? What?
And here I am starting Greece.
I don't know who that is, though, in all seriousness. Who's Japan?
Jamar?
No, Jamar's already in there.
Yeah, Jamar and Kamara in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to need to know who Japan is here.
Shriek, if you can try and redo this one for us and give us a little bit of a better idea. The whole Japan thing just really threw us for a loop. Ramondre or Brees and a half PPR?
Ramondre.
Brees Hall.
Brees for me as well. Would you trade Lamb for David Montgomery? I would not do that, Michael.
I want to see the team. They're close.
Yeah, I would agree.
Gordon or Singletary or Dobbins or Akers?
I'm going to go Cam Akers.
Akers for me as well. Not messing with Dobbins week 1. Gordon in the timeshare. Not that Akers isn't, but I really like Akers' matchup this week.
Oh, by the way, for Streak, that was Jahan, which now makes a lot of sense.
Oh, my God. Yep.
He said the good out of the guy out of Penn State. You should have known that. This should have just clicked with you. You should just be like,
Well, if I said it with an accent, if I said Japan, it would have. But see that's we were going on the strong A's instead of the weak A's. So JT, Henderson, Higgins, Jamar, Jahan, Kamara. There's a lot of A's. Must be a fan of A's. Oakland Athletics fan here. Just trying to get all the A's that I can. Real good student, 4.0.
I'm going to take that trade. The Henderson part of it isn't really that big of a deal. It kind of comes down to like JT and Higgins.
Yeah, just the first, right?
For
JT
Jamar
Higgins.
and Kamara.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. Because like I really don't want to trade JT.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna keep the JT side.
Yeah, because I think Higgins and Jamar, like there's not gonna be that much. I don't think there's that much separating the two.
Yeah. But it's close.
Should I start Keenan this week? Picked him back off waivers. Long story. Would love to hear it sometime.
He's told us this. Yeah.
Kurt Samuel starting my flex. Should I start Keenan Allen?
Yeah, he had dropped him. He was talking to us in the Discord. He I think first year player, then tried to move him to IR, but dropped him. Glad you got him back. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, if he plays, you're starting him.
Yep, correct.
Do I sit on my Jamar and Jefferson team or try to get an RB full PPR league? I mean, if you go and get an RB, it needs to be RB 1, 2, 3. Like I'm not going to try and do like a back end RB1 and then like a decent, like say like a wide receiver 3 or something like that. If you're trading for one, it's going to be a 1-for-1 swap and it's going to be a big dog. Bennett, Davis, Anderson, or Aguilar?
Yeah, I'll go Corey Davis.
Let's go Robbie Anderson.
I'm going to go Aguilar. No, I'm going to go Corey Davis. Corey Davis.
Good offer. Pitts for Garrett Wilson.
Oh, yeah. You got offered Pitts? Yeah. Assuming tight end is Everett. Yeah, I would do that.
Tyreek, Debo, MT, Mike Williams, London, wide receivers. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Lockett, Garoppolo. Not really. I mean, I would basically take whatever I could get for either of those guys, to be honest. So I mean, nothing that comes to my mind immediately, but I mean, I wouldn't be holding out for too much of a better deal if you get.
I think the easiest way, and I hate to keep saying this, but like it's hard to say like trying to trade for guys, whatever, without being able to like I like it'd be so much easier if you could like just send us some pictures of some other rosters in the league. That way you can actually like get a good idea of like what would actually be a trade that you could actually pull off.
I'll throw some suggestions because Lockett did just have 9 for 107, so I think you could maybe trade him to the right person. Like if there's a Jahan Dotson, Olave, one of these younger rookies that we think are going to expand on their role, that's something I would trade Lockett for. A younger, I don't know if upside is the right word, but potential to grow it within the offense.
Right. Yeah. It's just with any trade questions, I think it's a lot easier if you just jump in the Discord and then we can, you can send screenshots of, some stuff like that. Cause like right here, it's a little bit harder to gauge in my opinion.
Brady, J-Rob, Gibson, Adams, Debo, Deontay, Pitts. How's the team in a 12-man? I think obviously you feel good about your wide receiver. You hope Pitts steps up. Running back, though, would like to get something stronger there.
Running back ain't it, Sean. We gotta upgrade.
Look like a C plus. If we're giving a grade. Would you trade T. Higgins for Debo? I prefer
No.
T. Higgins.
As long as he plays, I would go Jerry Jeudy, McLaurin, and Amari. No, I would. Never mind. I would go Garrett Wilson over Amari. Sorry.
Amari for me. I think you're on the same page, Robbie.
Okay.
Take Kyle Pitts and Fournette. He wants Mike Evans, 35 yards per point, passing touchdown 7, rushing yards 10 per. So Pitts and Fournette for Evans.
Absolutely. Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Logan Thomas or Everett.
Gerald Everett.
Diggs, Waddle, Wilson, Samuel, CeeDee Lamb. I don't know if you had a question earlier or not. I can try and look if you guys want to jump to the next one.
I'm scrolling up here.
Good.
Would you trade Mike Williams for Debo? I would.
Debo.
Start 2, sit 1. James Robinson, Gibson, and Brees. I'm gonna go with James Robinson and Gibson.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit Brees as well.
Wait, is Akers being a start now over Henderson? He seems to be trending that way. We definitely saw a much bigger workload for him last week, and Sean McVay did come out and say that they were trying to bring him along a little bit slowly, and so it did make a little more sense what happened week 1 plus against the Bills. So I don't mind all that. But JT is iffy with Matt Ryan. I mean, I don't know if I would say that. I mean, he was the RB1 last year with Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz was absolutely atrocious. So, yeah, I don't think that really matters. That's not really a big part of it. But anyways, Walker's on my waiver wire pickup.
Real quick, I just want to add to the Hendo Akers because I'm not as high on Akers as you two. I do think it's an issue that Hendo got more of the goal line. He's getting all the third down and all the 2-minute. Like Akers has never shown to be a pass catching back in his career, and so I think you're limited with them splitting work.
Well, I would say but he was still. I mean, we have like 1 year of production to go off of too. So, and one that he missed a lot of time. I mean, last year he didn't play. So outside of the very end of the season, whenever he was coming back from the injury, so
right.
And he's definitely shown the ability in college and stuff like that to be able to be a pass catcher. But now, are they going to ever trust him in that role? I don't know. But
I don't think so.
But we do know that Sean McVay prefers a workhorse. I mean, he has shown it time and time again. So I think
his conversation this year has been different. Like I don't think he has the same view of it this year that he has in the past. He's said that multiple times. So I guess I just wanted to note that I felt pretty differently on Akers over Henderson. I view him pretty similarly.
Pick up one and drop Darrell Williams. Walker's on the waiver wire. Pick up and drop Darrell Williams. Saquon and Holland. So yes, I would drop Darrell Williams for Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
Is it safe to drop Sky Moore?
This was always the thought with Sky Moore. He was never going to come in. Shout out Debro, who thought that he was, going to come in and just like take opportunities right out of the gate. That was, I can say it because Debro, me and Debro are friends. That was a ridiculous take. That was never going to be the case. I told him that whenever he first said it, and we had a debate on it. It's on the channel, and I told him that was ridiculous. There's no shot that's happening, and he's not taking. But I think by probably by week 7, 8, 9, he's going to be much more involved in the offense. I think they're bringing him along slowly. It's kind of what Andy Reid does. It's not really surprising. MVS does not look very good. MVS looks like MVS. And thankfully the Chiefs worked out his contract in a way that they can get out of his contract after this year, and that's probably what's going to happen. And so I do think Sky Moore could end up working his way into where he's kind of the number 2 wide receiver, and then you see MVS more of a kind of a rotational role with him and McCole Hardman. But we'll see. But Sky Moore, I don't want to drop him if I don't have to, but it would just depend on what you were looking for and if you absolutely needed to. Like, I'm not just dropping him to drop him because I do think there is definite upside there.
We just a note though, like his roster percentage has to be minimal, right? Like we're talking about like deep leagues.
Sky Moore?
For names that you guys probably listed on the waiver show.
I'd have to look, but I would guess I think he's in like the 30% range, like of rostership.
Yeah, and in my opinion, he should be way lower than that. It should only be the deepest leagues where you have him rostered.
Not really. I mean, you have to look at like in a 12-team league, like what wide receivers are actually sitting out there right now. There's not many. We're not dealing with bye weeks right now or anything like that. Like, there's not a lot of just like great options. I mean, you're looking at like Kyle Phillips and guys like that for most leagues that are really sitting out there that are kind of available. And so, I mean, if Sky Moore was sitting out in any league that I was in, I would be adding him. I mean, just because of the upside that he brings. So, like I said, like, I mean, he's not somebody like if you had to drop somebody, yeah, I mean, you can drop Sky Moore, but I don't want to unless I absolutely have to. And right now, there's no buys. 18% Yahoo. Okay, I knew it probably drops a little bit, but yeah, he's at 18% in Yahoo. But like, he's one injury away from being, really, a starting wide receiver for the Chiefs. So I get it, but like I said, it would really just depend on for who. I don't want to just drop him.
Yeah,
there's definite upside there.
So going to your guys' waiver wire show, you had potential ads for 12 to 14 team leagues: Dortch, Romeo Dobbs, Corey Davis, Zay Jones, Jamison Williams, Kyle Phillips. I'd take all of those guys. Maybe not Kyle Phillips. I'd take everyone else over Sky Moore, which means he's not rostered for me.
Just traded Pollard and Tua for CEH and Deontay. Already have Herbert. Thoughts?
It's good. It's a good trade.
Yep. Great trade.
Which disappointing tight end do you want? Kittle or Pitts?
I think Kittle's a lot better with Jimmy G back. I like him as the top 3 tight end now.
Would you trade Debo for Cook? My running backs are Mixon, Eckler. Wide receivers are Debo, Sutton, Amon-Ra, MT, Deontay in a 2-flex league.
Yeah.
I think we hit that one already, right?
I think so, yeah.
And Gianni, I think that was a yes on your trade.
Did we answer this one?
No, but did we do it Michaels? I think we skipped Michaels.
All right.
Half PPR: Hurts, Pittman, CD, Deontay, Bateman, Garrett Wilson, Everett, Saquon, Hall, ETN, Williams, Olave, Devonta. Any upgrades?
Running back
2. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Saquon you're great at. I mean, Hall I think could end up being that guy. So I wouldn't do anything like irrational to do it because I mean Hall, ETN are all like guys that can develop into that. You just don't have anybody that you feel like great about right now, and then you have Pittman, CeeDee Lamb, Deontay. Like, I'm fine with all those guys. So like I don't think there's any like obvious like, oh man, you have to fix this.
I do like a Jeff Wilson and Garrett. Garrett Wilson. JK. Never mind. But Garrett Wilson, I think, is a sell high that you could look to upgrade at running back 2.
Partrola. QB's Wilson, RB's Cook and Hendo. Do I look for a trade on QB and RB? QB, no, just stick with Wilson. It'll eventually work out. Cook and Hendo have DJ Moore, Wilson, Keenan Allen, Justin Jefferson, and Sutton. On the bench is Pollard, Hall, ETN.
I mean, you're probably looking for, again, I don't think I make any moves with this team. I think I roll with it.
Yep.
Ducking. Quick flex question: Henderson, Adam Thielen, Curtis Samuel.
I'm going Curtis Samuel.
Give me Adam Thielen.
I'll go Curtis Samuel as well. A-Rob or Ayuk?
A-Rob.
Yeah.
Who here in the flex for Alabas?
Cortland Sutton.
ETN, Henderson, Williams, Jahan.
Yep, Sutton. Ooh,
Here we go.
ouch.
This is the
Ouch.
question. This is the question that we are here for.
Why so
Derrick
serious?
Henry or Jarvis Landry?
Ooh,
It's Derrick Henry, but
show me the difference.
I appreciate the question.
Derrick Henry.
That's what we're here for. This is a safe space for that question, by the way. Why so serious? We are the Derrick Henry fantasy hate page. I need to cut someone from my bench when Evans comes back. Was thinking Hines, but my bench is Melvin Gordon, Jarvis, Olave, Samuel, Garrett Wilson.
Jarvis Landry.
Yeah. Sideline, we normally do have one of these little overlays here, but when you pull up the question, it makes the overlay look all bad. So that's why, and with all the questions that we have, that's why we don't have that.
I wish StreamYard would just, I don't know, do something.
They do it on a 2-person. If it's 2 people, they don't move it. All right. Olave or Burks for the stash? Man.
Olave, but it's close.
Yeah. I'm assuming this is Javonte. If it is, it's Javonte. But if it's Jamal or Breece Hall, who do you like here?
Or Jameson. Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson or Curtis Samuel?
I'm going to go Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, especially with the 0.5 per carry.
Boom.
Did it?
We did it. Appreciate you guys. If there's any other questions that you have, join the Discord, or you can just drop a comment on any other of our YouTube videos, and we'll make sure that we get it. Kev, you guys go live tomorrow?
We do. We are back on Thursday night, tomorrow night.
So if you guys are at DFS, specifically DraftKings, they'll be going live tomorrow. You can check that out. If you like props, if you like money, we'll be going live on Saturday for that. And then we'll be live again on Sunday morning with more start set stuff. Or again, like I said, drop a comment on one of the YouTube videos, or you can join the Discord. What?
Can I drop the link to the Discord real quick in there?
Link will be coming in the comment section. We appreciate you guys. Have a great week 3, and we'll talk to you all soon.